for tomorrow, yeah. And today just ain't your day. Hey, hey, I see you feeding they hate. See the bodies that you take. We do not break, never no breaks. Building this place on top of your gate. Come and see me by the ooh. My squad too deep. Got it covered like Newsweek. Kicking these fat like Bruce Lee, yeah. In front of W's like UV, UV, Sun can shine, Lord, use me. Hit him with the ooh. Come I said, don't let him fool you. He bring up your past, boy, bring up his future. We not confused. Your name is racist, hatred graces. All disgraces, traces straight to your engagement and face to nature. But on that day, you face the maker. Back to
not today. Amen.
Hello.
Good afternoon and welcome to Gardner Field on the campus of Bethel College for today's matchup between Huntington Foresters and your Bethel College Pilots. Bethel College welcomes all players, officials, and spectators to today's game. As participants in the NAIA's Champions of Character initiative, we ask each of you to help create a positive, competitive environment by showing respect for one another. On behalf of the Crossroads League and Bethel College, please enjoy today's game. Now let's introduce the starting lineups. First, for the visitors from Huntington. Leading off, the left fielder, number 7, Carly Blankenship. Batting second, the center fielder, number 3, Sophia Beachy. Batting third, the first baseman, number 14, Paige Eichelberger. Batting fourth, the DP, number 8, Jada Crowfoot. Batting fifth, the third baseman, number 6, Kennedy Kroll. Batting sixth, the shortstop, number 27, Joelle Beals. Batting seventh, the catcher, number 13, Kiara Stacy. Batting eighth, the pitcher, number 12, Megan Fretz. Batting ninth, the right fielder, number 24, Danae Rice. Number 18, Marty Harris, the second baseman. The Foresters are coached by Doug Gower and assisted by Bailey Benefill. Now let's introduce the starting lineups for introducing the starting lineups for Bethel College Pilots. In the field, number 10, Maribel Castro. In center field, number 2, Marilyn Showalter. In right field, number 19, Haley Stinson. At third base, number 5, Hannah Darlin. At shortstop, number 7, Quinn Slotman. At second base, number 24, Morgan Bales. At first base, number 14, Megan Riley. Catching, number 11, Karis Brewer. Pitching, number 21, Bethany Caldwell. And the DP is number 20, Abby Glass. The Pilots are coached by Scott Reese in his third season, assisted by Ingrid Reese, Bess Fechter, and Maddie Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please stand and gentlemen kindly remove your caps for the contest opening prayer. Lord, thank you for the opportunity we have to honor you through the game of softball. We ask you to protect the players as they compete and keep them free from injury and help them display their talents in a way that honors you. Help us all to encourage and cheer with proper perspective in mind. Thank you for what you are doing and what you have done in our lives. In your name, amen. We ask that you remain standing as well as we honor America and those who served and protect it with the playing of our national anthem.
Yes.
fans, be sure to visit the official Bethel College website at bethelcollegepilots.com for links to live stats and video of Bethel College athletic events, with team rosters, schedules, recaps, statistics, and more. Also follow Bethel Athletics on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram by searching at Bethel Pilots and hashtag Built by Bethel.
About this? Do I go on the website and do this or whatever? I've never done anything like this before, so I'm calling you off my cell phone because we broadcast using a cell phone. Yes.
At bat, Carly Blankenship.
Okay.
At bat, Sophia Beachy.
Okay. Is this something do I have to go and do this? Okay.
At bat, Paige Eichelberger.
I'm on the phone. I can't download it unless I'm. Let me try. Hold on. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, let me see if I can get. Let me. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, W-O-Z. W-O-W-Z-A. And then what is it? Is it all one word? Is it all one word? G-O. Okay. Okay. Is it the one that says free live streaming encoder? Okay. Okay, so do I just go ahead and agree to whatever? Okay. It says download free. Okay. Yeah, it says get the free SKD or whatever. Do I have to put in my name and my company? Well, it's got all these things where it must have. I have to do a password, an email, company name. It's a LG SK40, SK30. Okay, is this just going to be a one-day thing, or is this going to be from now on?
says free sign up, Waza Go Coder SKD.
That was quick. At bat, Quinn Slotman.
Okay, there's a thing on Google Play that came up that says Waza Go Coder. It's an app. It says an app for Waza Media Systems.
Yes, that's what you want.
So I should install this?
Yes. Make sure it doesn't say SDK at the end.
Okay, this one?
Waza Go Coder, that's it.
Okay, it says just Waza Go Coder install. It says what? Okay, I'm trying to find this again. My phone's... Okay, it says complete account setup. Review your account to continue. Okay. Okay, so I have to do a paying option.
At bat, Haley Stinson.
Still wanna know if my doom is vacant. That's why I'm undefeated.
Okay, it's coming. Okay, I thought it must have done something back. Okay. It says here, Go Coder and license by downloading. I agree or whatever. It's got a bunch of stuff. Should I say I agree? It says allow. It says allow to take pictures or record video. Okay. It says allow Go Coder to record audio. Allow. Okay.
At bat, Morgan Bales.
I think it's very vital to rock around. That's right. On top.
Video actions. Change bit right. Start encoding. Okay, yeah.
Like sheesh, off the dog pound, we done made it on the leash. Making sure the people comprehend like a fish. Young Jersey boy coming straight up out the east. Grinding 'cause my family got a
It's not doing it.
Hamilton. They can't tell me Hamilton.
No. you told me to. It looks like a Pac-Man. It's got a bunch of, it's got like 3 things. I hit that, but it's not doing anything. Okay, now it comes up. It says options. It says stream video and audio, video settings, video size. Okay, audio only.
At bat, Joel Beals.
Okay, stream, audio only. Okay, and then okay, I hit audio only. Should I hit done? Okay. It says settings. Okay, now it's got a picture of like a video. It's got a circle with a video with a line through it. Okay, it says options, stream, audio.
At bat, Kira Stacy.
I have one icon. I have the drunken Pac-Man. What's that? No, all I have, you told me to hit that. I have the drunken icon in the right-hand corner. In the middle, I have a circle with it looks like a video camera with a line through it.
Gotcha. Okay. So when you press our Pac-Man friend, it doesn't come up in a menu at all?
I'm pushing on it. It says options, stream, audio. Okay, I'm hitting. Okay, I'm hitting audio only. I hit done. It says settings saved. Now I'm back to where it's got the drunk Pac-Man.
Okay. Do you have two icons in the top right corner, the drunk Pac-Man and sliders?
Yeah, it's like three lines with like lines through them, with like little.
Right. Okay, the one that has 3 lines is what should bring up that options stream audio screen. The one next to it, the drunk Pac-Man guy, should bring up a screen that says connect to, and that's the only line. So you may have to press a little bit off to the left of where the actual icon is.
Okay, it says connect. Okay, it says connect to Wowsing Streaming Cloud, Wowsing Streaming Engine, or about Go Code.
The second one down, Wowsing Streaming Engine, press that.
Okay, it says host application login.
At
Okay,
bat,
now it
Megan
says,
Fretz.
it says server.
Okay, press the line, the next line underneath server.
Okay,
And does it bring up your keyboard?
yes.
Okay, type a lowercase o,
O,
the number 6,
6,
period,
period. Okay, so stretch.
the word stretch all lowercase. Then the word internet, all lowercase, no space at all. Just stretch your
At bat, Danae Rice.
Okay, stretch. It says 06 dot stretch internet.
and then add.com. So 06.stretchinternet.com.
.com. Okay.
Does your port say 1935?
Yes.
Okay, press done.
Okay.
At bat, Carly Blankenship.
Okay. Okay. What do you want me to press again? I'm sorry. Okay, stream engine.
Alright, now we're going to press application.
Okay, application. It says live. Okay.
Press live, delete the word live, and type
S.
slash.
Okay, what? SLASH slash. Oh,
It is the word slash, not the word slash. SLASH. Like the superhero.
yes, I have SLAH. That's what I typed in. Okay. Okay, wait. Okay, wait. I got it. For some reason, it keeps clicking off. Okay. I have slash, and then what do I do after slash? SLAH. That's what. Oh, I have SLASH.
Sorry, it's not an S like snake. It is an S like fudge.
Okay, SLAFH. SLAFH.
No, it is SLASH. Like a flash of lightning.
That's what I had, and you said no. I'm sorry. I have SL. And then you said fudge.
Everybody eating if you part of my squad. And they know I'm working.
Okay, so I'm doing flash.
You know, got my standard heater.
I do flash.
Perfect. I'm just out here working one day.
Right?
They can't tell me hammer time, hammer time.
Okay.
They can't tell me hammer time.
Okay. F is in Frank.
Bedtime, headline, boy, you licking
L
that
A
headline.
S H.
They can't tell me hammer time, hammer time.
Okay.
They can't tell me
What do I
hammer
do
time.
then?
Bedtime, why we kill the same bedtime.
Yes, that's what I put.
Kill the same bedtime.
Yes. Okay. RRSN audio. Okay.
At bat, Paris Brewer.
Okay, and then I have RRSN audio. And then hit done. Okay. Okay, now, do I have to put this back? Do I have to put this back?
At bat, Megan Riley.
It's happening. It's happening. It's happening.
What's that? Okay, so I go ahead and hit the red button when I'm ready to go on, right? Now, what do I do like when I'm done? What do I do when I'm done then? Okay, now, I have two games. What we usually do is we stop in between games and we start it up. Do I have to go through this whole thing again? Okay, but what I mean is like when I'm done, how do I get back to this? Do I go back to the go stream and whatever? Okay, no, you don't understand what I'm saying. When the broadcast is done, is this how do and I get out? How do I get out of this then?
If you're 5 or 8,
At bat, Hannah Garland.
something you can do. Pop it, lock it, polka dot it, country fighting, hip hop it. Put your heart in the style, move side to side, jump to the left, stick it
I'm ready to go on, I hit the red button. Okay, then when I'm done, I hit the red button again. Okay, now, what I'm saying is when I'm done, how, like, I get out of this, and then how do I get back to this thing? Is it already going to be in here? Okay, so I just have to go to the app, and then I hit it, and then I just go, and it'll come up, and then I just hit that again, right? Okay, now when I'm done with the first game, do I have to call in and let you know that the game is over so you can stop the stream?
I'm so free, I got no chains on me. I'm so free, I got no chains on me. I'm so free, I got no chip running through the.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you very much for your patience and your help.
They hit the club, I hit religion.
Okay.
At bat,
All right.
Sophia
Thank you
Beachy.
very much. I'm going to go ahead and click on. I'm going to try to get on now. Okay, thank you. Okay, bye-bye. Guys, I apologize. We're having issues.
At bat, Paige
I was
Eichelberger.
having a hard time hearing with everything going on, so. Okay. Will someone be able to get me caught up on what's going on?
Yeah, we'll print you off
Okay.
or not print it off, but
Okay, just so I can try to get caught up. Good afternoon and welcome to Gardner Field here on the campus of Bethel College. We apologize for all the technical difficulties. We've with our streaming service, they're going through some problems, so we are hopefully on the air now to bring you the doubleheader between Bethel and Huntington this afternoon here. We are in the top half of the third inning with Bethel trailing by the count of 1-0. And we'll try to get you caught up as we go on. As I mentioned, we're in the top half of the third inning. And trying to get who the batter is. We don't have any. This looks to be Jada Crowfoot.
At bat, Jada Crowfoot.
There's the pitch from Bethany Caldwell in there for a called strike. 1-0 in favor of Huntington here in the top half of the third inning. Pitch on the way for a ball. There's a pitch. That's going to be line foul. No ball. Folks, again, we apologize. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count here on Jada Crowfoot here in the top half of the third inning. We apologize. We've had some difficulty. There's going to be a pop-up caught by the first baseman, Megan Riley.
At bat, Kennedy Kroll.
So 2 outs here in the third inning for Kennedy Kroll. Kroll comes in with a batting average of .231, a homer and 8 RBIs. Pitch from Bethany Caldwell in there for a called strike. We will set the lineups for you in between innings here. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. Huntington comes in with a record of 7-11. They are 3-5 in the Crossroads League. Bethel at 5-17 and 2-10. There's a pitch outside, a ball and 2 strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count here on Kennedy Kroll. Kroll, a sophomore out of Claypool, Indiana, attended Whitco High School.
There's a ball. There's a pitch for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count here on Kennedy Kroll. Bases empty. 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd inning. 1-0 in favor of Huntington. Pitch on the way, and there's a swing, ground ball to second for the 3rd out. So 1, 2, 3. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. It is 1-0 in favor of Huntington. We're going to go ahead and set the lineups for you. First for Huntington, leading off and playing in left field, it's Carly Blankenship. Sophia Beach, the center fielder, bats second and plays center. Paige Eichelberger bats third and plays first base. Jada Crowfoot is the designated player, batting fourth. Kennedy Kroll, who just made the 3rd out, is the third baseman. Joelle Beals bats sixth and plays shortstop. Kiara Stacy bats seventh and does the catching. Megan Fretz is on the mound, batting eighth. Danae Rice is batting ninth and playing in right field, and the flex player is Marty Harris, the second baseman. For the Bethel Pilots, leading off and playing at shortstop, it's Quinn Slotman. Haley Stinson bats second and plays in right field. Morgan Bales is at second, batting third. Karis Brewer bats fourth and does the catching. Megan Riley bats fifth and plays at first base. Hannah Darling bats sixth and plays at third base. Abby Glass is the designated player, batting seventh. Maribel Castro bats eighth and plays in left field. And Marilyn Showalter is batting ninth and playing in center field. The pitcher for the Pilots is Bethany Caldwell. Abby Glass here leading off the bottom half of the 3rd inning. And there's the pitch on the way from Megan Fretz. Fretz is 4-4 with a 2.2 ERA and 54 2/3 inning pitch. There's a little looper into right field, and that ball's going to be caught out there by Rice. So there's 1 out here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning, and that will bring up Maribel Castro. Castro comes in with a .265 batting average, 1 homer and 8 RBIs. There's the pitch in there for a called strike, 0-1. No balls and a strike here to Maribel Castro. 1 out, nobody on in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And there's a called strike to Castro. Castro, a freshman out of Oceanside, California. Pitch on the way. Eye for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count here. One nothing in favor of Huntington here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Ball outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Megan Fretz on the mound. That's a pitch low for a ball. Pilots still looking for their first base runner here. Fretz, a sophomore out of Leesburg, Indiana, attended Wawasee High School. As we popped up out of play. 3 balls, 2 strikes to count here. And that's called strike 3 to Maribel Castro. That's 2 outs now. First strikeout of the afternoon for Fretz. And that will bring up Marilyn Showalter. Megan Fretz, who drove in the Huntington run in the top half of the second inning with a base hit. 0-1 the count here to Marilyn Showalter, who comes in with a 182 batting average, 1 RBI on the season. Pitch outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strikes. That's going to be fouled away. Showalter. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count here on Marilyn Showalter. And that's going to be chopped to the shortstop. Beals will pick it up, and the throw will be in time to retire the side. So the Pilots go 3 up, 3 down. We head to the 4th inning, 1-0 in favor of Huntington. We'll go ahead and recap the scoring for you now. Once again, we apologize for the technical difficulties. On our other end, they're having some difficulties, so we had trying to get on the air, but we are luckily on the air right now for you. The Foresters got a run in the 2nd inning, their only run of the ball game. Kennedy Kroll had a leadoff double, went to third on a sacrifice by Joelle Beals, and then Megan Fretz with a base hit to drive in the run. So we are in we go to the top half of the 4th inning now, with the score being 1-0 in favor of Huntington. And Joelle Beals will lead it off.
At bat, Joelle Beals.
Beals had a sacrifice her last time. One nothing Huntington here in the top half of the 4th inning. No balls and 1 strike to count here on Joelle Beals. Joelle Beals, Kiara Stacy, and Megan Fretz. And there's a ball, 1 strike. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count here. Nobody on, nobody out in the top of the 4th inning. 1-0 in favor of Huntington. And there's a swing and a miss. 2nd strikeout of the afternoon for Bethany Caldwell. Caldwell, a freshman out of Peru, Indiana. She comes into action today with a no record, a 10.08 ERA. This will be her 5th appearance, her first start in 8 1/3 innings. She's allowed 17 hits, and that ball's going to be popped up. And the catcher, Caldwell, will make the catch for the 2nd out of the inning.
At bat, Megan Fretz.
And that'll bring up the pitcher, Megan Fretz. Fretz is accounted for the lone run in the ballgame with a base hit back in the 2nd inning. Caldwell in 8 1/3 innings has allowed 17 hits, 15 runs, 12 runs, and that's going to be into left center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. So Fretz is on for the 2nd time.
At bat, Danae Rice.
Caldwell 17 hits, 15 runs, 12 of them earned, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting .405 against him. And Danae Rice, who had a base hit her last time, will come to the plate. Now 1-0 Huntington here in the top half of the 4th inning. Pitch on the way, low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Runner at first, 2 outs here in the top half of the 4th inning. Fouled away. No balls. 1 ball and 1 strike, the count here. There's a pitch outside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike to count here on Deanna Rice. Rice, a freshman out of Marion, Indiana, as we popped up on the infield, and the first baseman, Megan Riley, will make the catch to retire the side. No runs on 1 hit and 1 left. We are halfway home in game 1. It is 1-0 in favor of Huntington. Bethel College Softball on the Regional Radio Sports Network is brought to you in part by the Gates Automotive Group, Teachers Credit Union, Beef O'Brady's, Centaur Bank, and the United States Marines. Once again, my name is Matt Copsey here, bringing you the play-by-play description of this afternoon's doubleheader between Bethel and Huntington. Huntington with a 1-0 lead here. Once again, we apologize. We had some technical difficulties getting on the air, but we're glad to be on the air joining you. Pilots, as we mentioned, come in with a record of 5-17. They are 2-10 in conference play. Huntington at 7-11 on the season, and 3-5 in conference play. Taking a look at the defensive setup, it's Carly Blankenship in left, Sophia Beachy in center, and Danae Rice in right. Kennedy Kroll is at third. Joelle Beals is at short. Marty Harris is at second. And Paige Eichelberger is at first. Kiara Stacy is behind the plate, and Megan Fretz, as we mentioned, with a 4-4 record, a 2.82 ERA, in 54 2/3 innings pitched. She's allowed 50 hits, 33 runs, 22 of them earned, 19 walks, 25 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting .243 against Fretz. Pilots have yet to have a base runner through the first 3 innings, and the first pitch to Quinn Slotman is high for a ball. Slotman grounded out to short her first time. Slotman at .368. No homers, 10 RBIs on the season. Pitch in there for a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Scott Reese in his 3rd season in the coaching box over at third base. Doug Gower in his 15th season at Huntington. Pitch on the way, outside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike to count here on Quinn Slotman. Quinn Slotman, Haley Stinson, and Morgan Bales. One nothing Huntington here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count here. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count here on Quinn Slotman. Fretz's pitch on the way. It's going to be swing and a miss for strike 3. Second strikeout of the afternoon for Fretz. And that'll bring up Haley Stinson. Stinson at .304, 5 RBIs on the season. Stinson, the sophomore out of Adams Central High School. Our umpires for the first game are Kevin Hahn behind home plate and Michael Brown on the bases. There's a little looper down the third base side. It'll drop out of play. In between games, we will go ahead and play the interview I had a chance to do with Bethel head coach Scott Reese. Since we had all the technical difficulties, we didn't have a chance to play that interview for you, so we're going to go ahead and play that interview for you in between games. And there's a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count here on Haley Stinson. We're in the bottom half of the 4th inning. 1-0 in favor of Huntington. And that's outside for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Eichelberger in a little bit at third base, at first base as Kroll at third, and that's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop. Beals will pick it up and throw her out. So there's 2 outs, 11 in a row retired by Haley Stinson, and that'll bring up Morgan Bales. Bales 0 for 1 on the day. She grounded out to short her first time. She came into action today with a record of 320, with a batting average of 321 with 7 RBIs. Bales, a sophomore out of Columbia City High School. And that's going to be popped up first base side. That one will go out of play. Strike one. No balls and 1 strike here. The count on Morgan Bales. 1-0 Huntington. The Forsters got their lone run in the second inning on a base hit by Megan Fretz. High for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike to count here. Pitch on the way. It's going to be popped up out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count here on Morgan Bales. Pilots looking for their first base runner this afternoon, as Fretz has retired the Pilots in order through the first 3 2/3 innings. Right-hander's pitch on the way, and that's going to be fouled back this way. Pilots trying to snap a 4-game losing streak, having dropped back-to-back doubleheaders at Indiana Wesleyan on last Thursday and then to Taylor this past Friday here at Gardner Field. Pilots will be back in action again tomorrow against St. Francis in a doubleheader here at Gardner Field. And that's going to be swing and a miss for strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning, 3rd of the ball game for Fretz. And the Pilots go in order again. 1, 2, 3. We will head to the 5th inning. Bethel trails 1-0. And we will take this opportunity to let you know that coming up on Tuesday, April 9th, former Major League Baseball pitcher Justin Masterson will be the keynote speaker at the Northern Indiana Fellowship of Christian Athletes banquet here at the Camp Center at Bethel College. For more information on or details on how to attend the event, get a hold of Northern Indiana FCA representative and Bethel College Athletic Director Tony Natali at tony.natali, that's Natali, at betheluniversity.edu, or call area code 574-340-2504. Once again, former Major League pitcher and Bethel College pitcher Justin Masterson will be the keynote speaker at the Northern Indiana Fellowship of Christian Athletes annual banquet on Tuesday, April 9th here at Bethel College's Camp Center starting at noon. We head into the top of the 5th inning, 1-0 Huntington. And we will go back to the top of the order with Carly Blankenship. Blankenship 0 for 2 in the ball game. Popped up to second to start the ball game, and then reached on and then ended the second inning on a fielder's choice, and that's going to be grounded to the shortstop. Slotman picks it up and the throw across in the time. So 1 out here in the 5th. Blankenship, a junior out of Noblesville, Indiana. She came in with a .260 average, 8 RBIs. That'll bring up Sophia Beachy. Beachy, a sophomore out of Kokomo, Indiana, attended Northwestern High School. No homers, 4 RBIs, .214. That's we popped up on the infield. The second baseman, Bales, will make the catch. So quickly, 2 outs here in the top half of the 5th inning. That'll bring up Paige Eichelberger. Beachy was 1 for 2 in the ball game. Eichelberger, a sophomore out of Avon, Indiana, attended Avon High School. Called strike. She's 0 for 2, was a strikeout victim in the first inning, and then popped up to the shortstop Slotman in the 3rd. 1-0 Huntington here with 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. Bethany Caldwell, that's going to be looped into left center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. So the 6th hit of the afternoon for the Forsters. And that'll bring up Jada Crowfoot. Crowfoot, a sophomore out of Northridge High School. 1 homer, 8 RBIs, a .180 batting average. The Forsters originally were decked out in white jerseys, white pants, with the green socks. A lot of the players now wearing the tops, and that's going to be lined into center field, and that ball will be grabbed out there by Showalter to retire the side. In the top half of the 5th inning for the Forsters, no runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Huntington leads Bethel 1-0. We will take this opportunity to let you know. Once again, we apologize for the early technical difficulties as our streaming service was having some issues, but they got us back on the air, so we're happy to be back on the air here at Gardner Field. As we're going to go ahead and take a look at the standings in the Crossroads League. Marion, which was ranked number 5 in the latest NAIA poll, they were 12-0. Taylor is 9-0. Mount Vernon Nazarene at 5-1. Indiana Wesleyan, which was ranked 11th in the poll, was 8-3. Huntington was at 3-5. Spring Arbor at 4-8. Grace at 3-8. Goshen at 2-7. St. Francis, who will be here tomorrow, at 2-8, and Bethel at 2-10. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. And the first pitch is a ball. The next pitch has to be grounded right back to the mound. Fretz will throw it out. So Karis Brewer grounds out one. She's now 0 for 2 in the ball game, and that'll bring up Megan Riley. Riley grounded out to the shortstop Beals back in the 2nd inning. Pilots looking for their first base run of the ball game. That's going to be popped up into right center field, and coming onto the ball is going to go off the glove of the right fielder, Rice. That's going to be an error. So the Pilots have their first base runner of the ball game. So the tying run is at first with 1 out here in the bottom half of the 5th inning, and that will bring up Hannah Darling. Darling in the ball game, 0 for 1. The sophomore out of Hebron, Kentucky, attended Connor High School. It looks like we're going to have a runner here for the Pilots, as it looks to be Maddie Morgan will come in to run here for Megan Riley. So Scott Reese brings on Maddie Morgan, the sophomore out of Marysville, Ohio, out of Delaware Christian High School, to run. So the Pilots have their first base runner of the ball game. Runner at first here with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning, 1-0 in favor of Huntington. Pitch on the way. It's going to be bunted in front of the plate. That's going to be a foul ball. Oh and 1 the count here. Darling came into action today at 241 with 6 RBIs on the season. There's a bunt in front of the plate. It's going to be picked up by the third baseman, and it will be so that will go 5-3 on the sacrifice. Morgan goes to second. So that'll bring up Abby Glass. So 2 outs in the tying run at second for Bethel. Abby Glass, a sophomore out of Silver Lake, Indiana, attended Warsaw High School. She flew out to the right fielder Rice back in the 3rd inning. Pitch on the way on the corner for a called strike. Runner at second. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1-0 in favor of Huntington. Huntington got their run in the 2nd inning. Pitch on the way. It's going to be fouled off for a strike. So Megan Fretz ahead in the count now, 0-2. Fretz has yet to allow a hit. She has struck out 3, and the Pilots have had just 1 base runner, that coming in the form of Megan Riley. But Maddie Morgan came on to run. She's at second with 2 outs. 0-2 the count here on Abby Glass. And that's going to be just missed on the corner. So a ball and 2 strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count here on Abby Glass. Fret's on the way. There's the pitch. And that's going to be called strike 3 on the corner to retire to the side. So the Pilots get their first base runner but come up empty. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left. We will head to inning number 6. Huntington leads Bethel by the count of 1-0. We will continue going through the standings for you. Marion is at 22-0 overall. Taylor is at 17-4. Mount Vernon Nazarene at 10-6. Indiana Wesleyan 23-8. Huntington is at 7-11. Spring Arbor is at 11-13. Grace at 7-16. Goshen at 8-17. St. Francis, as we mentioned, who will be here tomorrow, is at 11-14, and Bethel is at 5-17. This is the only action today in the Crossroads League. Tomorrow, Grace will be at Goshen. Huntington will be at Marion. Taylor will be at Mount Vernon Nazarene. Spring Arbor will be at Indiana Wesleyan, and St. Francis will be at Bethel. And then on Wednesday, Spring Arbor will be at Mount Vernon Nazarene. Indiana Southeast will be at Marion, and Grace will be at Indiana Wesleyan. We head into the top of the 6th inning. Kennedy Kroll will lead it off. Kroll doubled and scored the lone run of the ball game back in the 2nd inning. 1 for 2. She entered .231, 1 homer, 8 RBIs on the season. Bethany Caldwell has allowed just the 1, the freshman out of Peru, Indiana. Pitch on the way. That's going to be lifted into left field, drifting back, and that ball is going to be gone. Kennedy Kroll, a solo shot here to lead off the 6th inning, and Huntington now has a 2-0 lead. So the Forsters, Kennedy Kroll has accounted for both runs here. She doubled and scored in the 2nd, and now has homered her 2nd homer of the year, her 9th RBI. Kroll, the sophomore out of Whitco, Indiana. And that will bring up Joelle Beals. Joelle Beals 0 for 1 in the ball game. She had a sacrifice in the 2nd inning and was the strikeout victim in the 4th. 2-0 Huntington now here in the 6th inning. Pilots trying to snap a 4-game losing streak here. Huntington coming in, as we're going through some stuff, we'll have Joelle Beals coming to the plate now, as we mentioned. Beals, the junior out of Warrenton, Virginia, attended Fresta Valley Christian High School. Doug Gower in his 15th season at Huntington in the coaching box at 3rd. And that's going to be looped into left field for a base hit. So the Forsters with 8 hits now, 2 runs on 8 hits. And Kiara Stacy, the catcher, who's 0 for 2. For 2 on the day. So a runner at first with nobody out, a run in here in the top of the 6th inning for Huntington. And there's a bunt. It will go foul. No balls and a strike. Due up for the Pilots in the bottom half of the 6th inning, it'll be Maribel Castro, Marilyn Showalter, and Quinn Slotman to face Megan Fritz, who has yet to allow a hit, has allowed only 1 base runner through the first 5 innings. 2-0 Huntington here in the 6th, and that ball's going to be fouled back, so Caldwell ahead in the count now, 0-2. Caldwell, the left-hander. Pilots decked out in the white jerseys with the royal blue numbers, blue pants, white socks. Huntington in the all-white jerseys with the forest green numbers. There's a pitch outside for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count here on Kiara Stacy. Stacy, freshman out of Manchester High School. And that's going to be fouled off down the first base side. Bethel will be in action again tomorrow, a doubleheader here at Gardner Field. They'll be taking on St. Francis at 3 o'clock. The Bethel College baseball team will also be in action tomorrow against St. Francis, a doubleheader at 1 p.m. over at Patterson Field. And that's going to be popped up out of play. So the count will remain a ball and 2 strikes. 1 run, 2 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for Huntington. No runs, no hits, 1 error for the Pilots. That ball is going to be fouled off. Joel Beals, the runner at first, with nobody out here in the top half of the 6th inning. 2-0 Huntington. Kennedy Kroll with a solo homer to left field has given the Forsters a 2-run cushion to work with here in the 6th. And that's going to be lifted into right. Drifting over will be Stinson to make the catch. So that is the first out here in the bottom half of the top half of the 6th inning. And that'll bring up Megan Fretz. Fretz has singled twice. She drove in the first run. Fretz came into action today 0 for 5, so she is now 2 for 7 for the season. And that's going to be fouled off, 0-1. Two nothing Huntington here in the top half of the 6th inning. The pitch is outside for a ball, and that'll be a stolen base. As the runner was going. So 1 ball, 1 strike to count here on Megan Fretz. Pitch on the way, high for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike to count here on Megan Fretz. Fretz, the sophomore out of Wawasee High School, fouled back this way, 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Beals, the runner at second, 1 out here in the 6th. Caldwell's pitch, that's going to be lifted into center. Showalter will drift back, and that ball will be gone. A 2-run homer for Megan Fretz. And the Forsters have broken this one open. They now lead 4-0 here in the 6th inning. So quite a day for Megan Fretz, who came in 0 for 5 for the season. She's 3 for 3 now with 3 RBIs on the season. And Huntington now leads 4-0. And Scott Reese will make a trip out to the mound, and that looks like it's going to be all for Bethany Caldwell. And it looks like coming in to pitch now for the Pilots, this will be Danica Mast. Danica Mast, a senior out of Fairfield High School. Mast comes into action today with a 0-1 record. This will be her 11th appearance. She has a 10.30 ERA. In 17 2/3 innings, she's allowed 41 hits, 29 runs, 26 in them earned, 11 walks, 9 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting .427 against Danica Mast. Coming into action today, Bethel was hitting .291 as a team with a team ERA of 8.09, whereas Huntington had a .272 batting average and .336 ERA. So you can close the book on Bethany Caldwell. She goes 5 1/3 innings, allows 4 runs on 9 hits. All the runs are earned. She struck out 2 and walked none. So Danica Mast, her objective here is to try to keep the deficit as it is. It's 4-0 Huntington here in the top half of the 6th inning with 1 out. And the first pitch from Mast is high for a ball. Danae Rice, 1 for 2 in the ball game. Rice, freshman out of Marion, Indiana, attended Marion High School. And that's going to be high for called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike to count here. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count here. Pitch on the way, high for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 3 runs in the inning. Kennedy Kroll led it off with a solo homer. And then a 2-run homer off of the bat of Megan Fritz has made it 4-0 here in the 6th inning. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 3. So there are 2 outs here now in the top of the 6th inning. That will bring up Carly Blankenship.
At bat, Carly Blankenship.
Blankenship 0 for 3 on the afternoon. She popped up to second in the first, reached on a fielder's choice in the second, and then grounded out to the shortstop Slotman in the 5th. Pitch on the way from Mass. That's be a ground ball to the Slotman. She'll pick it up and throw her out. But the Forsters pick up 3 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors and nobody left. We head into the bottom of the 6th inning. Huntington leads Bethel by the count of 4-0. Take this opportunity to let you know that coming up on Tuesday, April 9th at the Y Camp Center here on the campus of Bethel College, former Bethel standout and Major League pitcher Justin Masterson will be the keynote speaker at the Northern Indiana Fellowship of Christian Athletes annual banquet. As we've got a change over here, Rosalind Everhart will come in to play right field for the Forsters here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Everhart, a sophomore out of Decatur, Indiana, attended Heritage High School. So it's 4-0 Huntington here in the 6th as Everhart takes over in right field. It'll be Maribel Castro, Marilyn Showalter, and Quinn Slotman here as the Pilots trail 4-0 as they look for their first hit of the ball game. Castro was called out on strikes her first time back in the 3rd inning. Pilots have had 1 base runner, that being Megan Riley. She reached on an error back in the 5th inning. Pitch on the way from Fretz is going to be fouled off. Fretz retired the first 13 batters in a row before Riley reached. And the Pilots looking for their first hit of the afternoon, trailing here 4-0 in the bottom of the 6th inning, game 1 of our doubleheader. Pitch on the way, and that's going to be on the corner for a called strike. Fretz has fanned 4, walked no one. Castro was at 265, 1 homer and 8 RBIs coming into action this afternoon. Pitch on the way, outside for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One and 2 the count here on Maribel Castro, the freshman out of California. Pitch on the way from Fretz. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 5 on the afternoon for Megan Fretz, the sophomore.
At bat, Marilyn Showalter.
The sophomore out of Wawasee High School, who came into action today with a 4-4 record and a 2.82 ERA. Marilyn Showalter, who grounded to the shortstop Beals her last time. Pitch for a ball, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to count here. That's going to be grounded to the 3rd baseman. Kroll will pick it up and throw across in time. 2 outs. And Quinn
At
Slotman.
bat, Quinn Slotman.
Slotman 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Pilots down to 4 outs here, trailing 4-0 here in the bottom half of the 6th inning, game 1 of our doubleheader. Once again, we apologize for the technical difficulties, which were beyond our control. And that's going to be lined into right field, but right there to make the catch is Everhart, the new right fielder, to retire the side. Pilots go 3 up, 3 down. We will head to the 7th inning. Bethel trails 4-0 to the Huntington Foresters. And we'll take this opportunity to let you know that Beef O'Brady's and Granger is the place to go before or after the game. Locally owned and operated for 10 years. They're a family-oriented business featuring a private party room with seating for up to 60 people, along with an outside patio area that can seat up to 20 guests. Located at State Road 23 and Bittersweet Road, Beef has daily specials Monday through Friday and offers dine-in and carry-out service. They're also the spot to watch all of your sporting events. For more information, call 574-271-1415. Beef O'Brady's, good food, good sports. And the Gates Automotive Group has the Chevrolet and Toyota vehicles that you need. Winning the President's Award 13 years in a row, Gates Toyota has more than 100 Toyotas in their lot and are happy to help you find the right car. Come to Gates Toyota in South Bend for the automotive experience that you've always wanted. For more information, go to www.gatestoyota.com.
Sophia Beachy.
Matt Copsey back here at Gardner Field as we head into the top of the 7th inning. 4-0 in favor of Huntington. The Forsters got a run in the 2nd inning on a single by the pitcher Megan Fretz. They added 3 runs in the 6th. Kennedy Kroll with a solo homer. And then a 2-run homer off the bat of Megan Fretz. And that's where we stand. Sophia Beachy, 1 for 3 on the afternoon. Strike 1 call here from Danica Mast, and that pitch is a little bit inside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike to count here on Sophia Beachy. 4-0 Huntington here in the top of the 7th. That's going to be grounded to the shortstop. Slotman will pick it up and throw across the diamond. 1 out here in the top half of the 7th inning. Danica Mast has retired all 3 batters she has faced since coming on in relief of Bethany Caldwell. Caldwell went the first 5 1/3 innings, allowed 4 runs on 9 hits. She fanned 2 and walked no one. And that's going to be grounded. Second baseman picking it up is Bales, and there's quickly 2 outs here in the top half of the 7th inning. And that'll bring up Jada Crowfoot. Crowfoot 0 for 3. Ball game just a little over an hour old. We've been moving right along here. Pitch on the way outside for a ball. Do it for the Pilots in the bottom half of the 7th inning. It'll be Haley Stinson, Morgan Bales, and Karis Brewer to face Megan Fretz, who has yet to allow a hit through 6 innings. And there's a pitch on the corner for a called strike, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to count here on Jada Crowfoot. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that pitch is high for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. Pitch on the way. Low for a ball. 3 balls and a strike. Neither pitcher, and we have had no walks yet in the ball game today. Each team has been guilty of an error. And that's going to be in there for a called strike. So the count goes full to Crowfoot. Crowfoot, the sophomore out of Northridge High School. Batting in the cleanup spot for Doug Gower. That's going to be lifted into right. Stinson will drift back, and she will make the catch to retire the side. We head into the bottom of the 7th inning. Pilots need 4 to tie and 5 to win. They trail this one 4-0. Once again, we want to let you know that coming up on Tuesday, April 9th at 12 p.m. at the White Camp Center at Bethel College, former Bethel standout and Major League pitcher Justin Masterson will be the keynote speaker for the Northern Indiana Fellowship of Christian Athletes banquet held at 12 o'clock on Tuesday, April 9th. For more information or details on how to attend the event, contact Bethel College Assistant Athletic Director Tony Natali, who is also the Northern Indiana FCA representative, at tony.natali@betheluniversity.edu, or give them a call at 574-340-2504. Matt Copsey back here at Gardner Field as we head into the bottom half of the 7th inning. 4 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for Huntington. No runs, no hits, 1 error for the Pilots. The Pilots have had 1 base runner in the contest, that being Megan Riley, who reached on an error with 1 out in the 5th inning. Megan Fretz, who has struck out 5, walked no one so far through 6 innings. Pilots looking for their first base hit of the ball game. Pitch on the way, that's going to be grounded back to the mound. Fretz will pick it up, and there's 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And that'll bring up Morgan Bales.
At bat, Morgan Bales.
Bales is 0 for 2 on the afternoon. She grounded to shortstop. And then she also was a strikeout victim. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Pitch on the way. That's going to be popped up on the infield. The third baseman, Krull, in foul territory, will make the catch. So the Pilots are down to their final out now. Karis Brewer, 0 for 2. Brewer is grounded to second and grounded back to the mound. So the Pilots, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning, trailing 4-0. Pitch on the way, and that one's fouled back for a strike. Pilots have yet to have a base hit in this ball game. 2 outs into the 7th inning, they've had 1 base runner total for the contest. Pitch on the way, and it's a dead ball, so the Pilots have a base runner here as Brewer is hit by a pitch. And that'll bring up Megan Riley. And Riley, who was the Pilots' first base runner, she reached on an error back in the 5th inning. So the Pilots with their second base runner of the contest here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Megan Riley at .367 with 6 RBIs. And there's a check swing for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count here on Megan Riley. 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. Runner at first for the Pilots. They trail 4-0 to Huntington. Pitch on the way, and that's going to be line foul. 1-1, 1 ball, 1 strike to count here. One ball, 1 strike to count here to Megan Riley. Riley, the sophomore out of Hamilton, Ohio, and that's going to be grounded foul. So the Pilots down to their final strike here in game 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count here on Megan Riley. One ball, 2 strikes to count here. Pitch on the way. That's going to be grounded to the shortstop. Beals will pick it up, and she will throw across in time. And that will end the ball game for the Pilots in the bottom half of the 7th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left. The final in game 1, Huntington 4, Bethel nothing. We will be back after this timeout to recap game 1 for you. You're listening and watching Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Centier Bank is Indiana's largest private family-owned bank. Since 1895, the Schrag family has built a legacy of success through business and by servicing the communities of northern and central Indiana. Centier's not-for-sale promise pledges to the communities we serve that we will continue to preserve independent banking in Indiana for generations to come. Centier Bank is proud to serve the communities of northern and central Indiana. Please visit Centier.com for more information, and don't forget to like us on Facebook, member FDIC.
There's always a moment of truth. where it's either put up or shut up. We were yelling our hearts out. Even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continued to push. I don't know where the pain went to, but all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
They say growth is a journey and not a destination. At Teachers Credit Union, we agree. Helping our communities grow has been our mission ever since we began our journey in 1931. And supporting our members' growth has helped us to become Indiana's largest credit union. And we're just getting started. Whatever you want to grow, Teachers Credit Union is ready to help. Visit a branch or tcunet.com today. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA, and we are an equal housing opportunity.
It's pouring rain. It's real dark outside. Your heart starts beating really, really fast. You've never done anything so hard in your life. This is boot camp. This is the real thing now. It's such extreme pain, you don't understand how you can finish. I began to feel that there was no way I was ever going to have my title, U.S. Marine. It takes special inner strength, courage, and desire to do this. I was just thinking, I'm so close. I'm so close. And when I finished, I was like, I'm done. I did it. The moment I will never forget is when this drill instructor that I admired so much comes up to me straight in front of me, put her arm on my shoulder and said, "Good morning, Marine."
PFC Summer Volkman became a Marine. Can you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Matt Copsey back here at Gardner Field for the Huntington Foresters. Pick up the victory by a count of 4-0. 4 runs, 9 hits, 1 error, 6 runners left on base. No runs, no hits, 1 error for the Pilots. They leave 2 runners on base. Huntington improves to 8-11 overall, 4-5 in Crossroads League. Bethel drops to 5-17 and 2-11. We're going to go ahead and recap the scoring for you. Huntington got what proved to be the only run they needed in the second inning. Kennedy Kroll had a double, went to third on a sacrifice, and then scored on a base hit by Megan Fretz. It stayed that way until the 6th when Kennedy Kroll led off with a home run to left field. Joelle Beals had a base hit, and then Megan Fretz a 2-run homer to center field for her second. In addition to pitching a no-hitter, Fretz went 3 for 3 with a run scored and 3 RBIs on the season. Fretz improves to 5-4 on the season, and Bethany Caldwell picks up the loss. Caldwell went the first 5 1/3 innings, She allowed all 4 runs on 9 hits. She struck out 2 and walked no one, and Danica Mast came on in relief to pitch the final inning in 2/3, retiring all 5 batters she faced. So once again, for Huntington, 4 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. The Foresters left 6 runners on base. Bethel, no runs, no hits, 1 error. The Pilots left 2 runners on base. Winning pitcher was Megan Fretz, 5-4. She fanned 5 and walked no one, hit a batter, and allowed just 2 base runners. And Bethany Caldwell was the loser. She drops to 0-1. Time of the ball game, 1 hour and 14 minutes. Where we are going to step aside for a little bit. Once again, we apologize for the technical difficulties we had getting on. Hopefully we will have those all taken care of when we come back in about 15 or 20 minutes. We'll come back in about 15 minutes or so. I will go ahead and play the interview I had a chance to do with Bethel coach Scott Reese for you. So once again, the final score in game 1, it was Huntington 4 and Bethel nothing. My name is Matt Copsey saying thanks a lot for joining us here on the Regional Radio Sports Network, and tune back in about 15 or 20 minutes. Good afternoon, everyone.
Everybody's got a blank page, a story they're writing today, a wall that they're climbing. You can carry the past on your shoulders. You can start over regrets. No matter what you've gone through, Jesus, He gave it all to save you. He carried the cross on His shoulders, so you can start over.
Don't let your heart be troubled. Don't be afraid. To the broken hearted, there was a day. Never been born, never been torn, never sinned, never disobeyed. I know you think there's no hope, no, but that ain't true. Jesus saved. I know you feeling regret, like I brought this all on myself, like I messed it up big time, and this time I don't deserve God's help. Thinking, how can God forgive me after knowing what I did? After knowing that I hear from Him and I stayed away and backslid. Listen, Jesus came for the sick, so true. Jesus came for the weak, amen. Jesus came to give good news and to set the captives free. Listen, Jesus came for the poor, amen. Jesus came for the keys, amen. Jesus came to remove the chains from the prison. Everybody's got a blank page, a story
Network. This afternoon, this is game 2 of our doubleheader between the Huntington Foresters, who are now 8-11, 4-5 in the Crossroads League. They are taking on the Bethel College Pilots at 5-18 and 2-11 in Crossroads League play. Good afternoon once again. My name is Matt Copsey. I will be providing you with the play-by-play description of this afternoon's second game. In game number 1, Megan Fretz proved to be the star of the ball game in a 4-0 Huntington victory. In addition to having 3 hits and 3 RBIs, including a 2-run homer, Fretz also threw a no-hitter, allowing just 2 base runners with 5 strikeouts on the afternoon, no walks and a hit batter. 4 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for Huntington. No runs, no hits, 1 error for Bethel. The winning pitcher was, as we mentioned, was Megan Fretz. She improved to 5-4, and Bethany Caldwell was the loser for the Pilots, and she dropped to 0-1. We're going to take a look at our starting lineups as we are going through the home plate. The umpires are going through the ground rules. For Huntington, leading off and playing in left field, it will be Carly Blankenship. Sophia Beachy will do the catching and bat second. Paige Eichelberger will bat third and play over at first base. Jada Crowfoot will be the designated player and bat in the cleanup spot. Kennedy Kroll, who belted a home run herself in the first game, she will bat fifth and play over at third base. Joelle Beals will bat sixth and play at shortstop. Rosalind Everhart will bat seventh and play in right field. Hannah Shoup will bat eighth and play in center field, and Marty Harris will bat in the ninth spot and play at second base. The pitcher for the Forsters in the second ball game is Anna Weigold. Weigold comes in with no record. She has a 3.00 ERA. This will be her 5th appearance. In 14 innings pitched, she's allowed 21 hits, 12 runs, 6 of them earned, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting .333 against Anna Weigold. Weigold is a freshman out of Columbia City, Indiana, attended Columbia City High School. For the Bethel College Pilots, leading off and playing at shortstop, it'll be Quinn Slotman. Haley Stinson will be in right field and will bat second. Hunter Brummett will bat in the third spot and be the designated player. Megan Riley will bat fourth and play at first base. Hannah Darling will bat fifth and do the catching. Morgan Bales will bat sixth and play at second base. Doing the pitching and batting in the seventh spot, it'll be Brooke Stoltz. Mary Bell Castro will bat eighth and play in center field. And Marilyn Showalter will bat in center field and bat ninth. And on the flex player will be Maddie Reese over at third base.
Now batting, Carly Blankenship.
Taking a look at the defensive setup for the Pilots, it's Mary Bell Castro in left. You have Marilyn Showalter in center, Haley Stinson in right. Maddie Reese is over at third base. Quinn Slotman is at short. Morgan Bales is at second. Megan Riley is at first, and the first pitch at 4:45 Eastern Daylight Time, from Brooke Stoltz is in for a called strike to Carly Blankenship. That's going to be grounded right back to the mound. Stoltz will pick it up and throw across, 1 out here in the top half of the first inning, game 2. And that will bring up Sophia Beachy. Carly Blankenship, a junior out of Noblesville, Indiana. That'll bring up Sophia Beachy doing the catching. Beachy, a sophomore out of Kokomo, Indiana, attended Northwestern High School. That's going to be popped up out of play over on the first base side. As we mentioned, Hannah Darling is doing the catching, and Brooke Stoltz is on the mound, the sophomore out of Mishawaka, Indiana. Stoltz comes in with a record of 4-6, a 6.46 ERA. This pitch is low for ball. This will be her 11th appearance. In 52 innings, she's allowed 93 hits, 74 runs, 48 of them earned, 17 walks, 49 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting .369. That's going to be popped up out of play. So Stoltz ahead in the count now. A ball and 2 strikes. That's going to be fouled back. Doug Gower in his 15th season at Huntington in the coaching box over at third base. 1-2 offering on the way. That's going to be line foul. The Forsters were a 4-0 victory, 4-0 winner in game one behind the pitching and hitting of Megan Fretz. Count will remain a ball and 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes to count here on Sophia Beachy. That's going to be popped up out of play. One ball, 2 strikes to count here on Sophia Beachy. That's going to be grounded to the first baseman. Riley will pick it up and step on the bag. So there are 2 outs.
At bat, Paige Eichelberger.
Paige Eichelberger will come to the plate now. Eichelberger, a sophomore out of Avon, Indiana, attended Avon High School. Eichelberger was 1 for 4 in the first game. Beachy was 1 for 4, and Blankenship was 0 for 4. No balls and a strike to count here to Eichelberger. Pilots looking to snap a 5-game losing streak here. No balls and 2 strikes to count here on Paige Eichelberger. Pitch high for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch on the way, outside for a ball. Castro in left, Showalter in center, Stinson in right, Reese at third, Slotman at short, Bales at second, Riley as the pitch is fouled away. Riley at first, and the battery of Hannah Darling behind the plate, and Brooke Stoltz on the mound. 2 outs, bases empty here in the top half of the first inning of game 2. And the pitch is high for a ball. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Our umpires for game 2 are Michael Brown, and they're swinging a miss for strike 3. So the Forsters go 3 up, 3 down here in the top of the first inning. It's Huntington nothing, Bethel coming to bat. We'll once again go through the Bethel lineup for you. Leading off and playing shortstop, it'll be Quinn Slotman. Haley Stinson will bat second and play right field. Hunter Brummett, the designated player, will bat third. Megan Riley will bat fourth and play first base. Hannah Darling will do the catching and bat fifth. Morgan Bales will bat sixth and play at second base. Brooke Stoltz will do the pitching and bat seventh. Mary Bell Castro will bat eighth and play in left field. And Marilyn Showalter will bat ninth and play in center field. Taking a look at the defensive setup for the Huntington Forsters, it is Carly Blankenship in left, Hannah Shoup in center, and Rosalind Everhart in right. Kennedy Kroll is at third. You have Joelle Beals at short, Marty Harris at second, Paige Eichelberger at first, and the battery of Sophia Beachy behind the plate and Anna Weigold on the mound. As we mentioned, Weigold, a freshman out of Columbia City, Indiana. She has no decision on the season, no record, a 3.00 ERA. This will be her fifth appearance, her first start, 14 innings pitched. She's allowed 21 hits, 12 runs, 6 of them earned, 1 walk and 3 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting .333 against Weigold.
At bat, Quinn Slotman.
Quinn Slotman will lead it off here for the Pilots. Bethel was limited to 2 base runners in the first game. Slotman was 0 for 3. Slotman, Stinson, and Brummett. Pitch on the way in there for a called strike. No balls and 1 strike to count here on Quinn Slotman. Pitch on the way. 1 ball, 1 strike. Slotman, the freshman out of Defiance, Ohio. And that's going to be line foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Slotman was 0 for 3 in the opener. She was at 368 with 10 RBIs coming into today's doubleheader. Pilots will be back in action again tomorrow. Doubleheader here at Gardner Field against St. Francis starting at 3 p.m. There's a little looper into right field, and that ball's going to drop in for a base hit, so the Pilots have their first base hit of the afternoon after getting no hit in the first game. They get a first hit here as Slotman reaches, and that will bring up Haley Stinson. Haley Stinson, a sophomore out of Adams Central High School. Stinson was 0 for 3 in the opener, 304 coming into action this afternoon with 5 RBIs, left-handed hitter. Pitch outs in, there's a ball, and that's a pitch, going to be a stolen base for Quinn Slotman. For Slotman on the season, that will be her 17th stolen base in 18 attempts. So the Pilots with a runner in scoring position with nobody out here. Something that they did not do. They only had 1 runner in scoring position in the first game. 2 balls and no strikes to count here on Haley Stinson. So there's a bunt in front. That's going to be a good bunt. It's going to be picked up by the third baseman, and the throw will be off the glove. Here comes the runner going to try to come in and score, and she'll be safe. So an E3, and Slotman just kept coming around. So the Pilots take a 1-0 lead here. And Slotman is safe at first on the, give Slotman credit for a sacrifice, and that'll be an E3. The ball went off of the glove of the first baseman. And Slotman just kept coming around, so the Pilots take a 1-0 lead here as Hunter Brummett will come to the plate. Brummett did not play in the first game. The senior out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, attended Homestead High School. Brummett for the season at 125, no homers and 4 RBIs. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss, throw down to second, and the runner will be out. So Stinson is out 2-6 for the first out here in the bottom half of the first inning. So the base is empty now for Bethel with 1 out, a run in. 0-1 the count here to Brummett. That's going to be grounded to the shortstop. Beals will pick it up, and the throw will be in time. Actually, it will be an E4 on the last one as the ball went off the second baseman.
At bat, Megan Riley.
So Megan Riley will come to the plate. Riley in the opener reached on an error, was one of only 2 base runners for the Pilots in the contest. 0 for 3 for the season, for the opener. Riley, the sophomore out of Hamilton, Ohio. 1-1 the count now on Riley. Riley was at 367 with 6 RBIs. Swing and a miss. A ball and 2 strikes. One ball and 2 strikes to count here. Two and two. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count here on Megan Riley. That's going to be grounded in front of the plate. Pitcher will pick it up. The catcher, Beachy, will pick it up and throw her out. But the Pilots pick up a run. There was 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, nobody left. We played 1 inning here at Gardner Field. Bethel leads Huntington by the count of 1-0. Take this opportunity to let you know that Bethel Softball on the Regional Radio Sports Network is brought to you in part by the Gates Automotive Group, Centier Bank, Beef O'Brady's, Teachers Credit Union, and the United States Marines. We also want to take this opportunity to let you know that on Tuesday, April 9th at 12 p.m. at the Y-Camp Center at Bethel College, former Bethel baseball standout and Major League veteran Justin Masterton will be the keynote speaker for the Northern Indiana Fellowship of Christian Athletes at their banquet at 12 p.m. on Tuesday, April 9th. For more information or details on how to attend the event, contact Tony Natali, Bethel College Assistant Athletic Director and Northern Indiana FCA Representative at Tony, Tony.Natali, Natali at betheluniversity.edu, or give him a call at 574-340-2504. Matt Copsey back here at Gardner Field as we head into the top half of the second inning. 1-0 in favor of Bethel. Pilots dropped the opener by the count of 4-0. It will be Jada Crowfoot, Kennedy Kroll, and Joelle Beals
Jada Crowfoot
to face Brooke Stoltz, who retired the Foresters in order. Jada Crowfoot, a sophomore out of Modoc, Indiana, attended Union High School. Pitch on the way for a ball, ball one. 1 ball, no strikes to count here. Pitch on the way, strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike. High for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike to count here on Jada Crowfoot, Kennedy Kroll, and Joelle Beals to follow. Crowfoot in the opener was 0 for 4. She was at 180, 1 homer, 8 RBIs. That ball's fouled out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes to count. Pitch outside for a ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three balls, 2 strikes to count here on Jada Crowfoot. We're in the top half of the second inning. 1-0 Bethel, and that's going to be lined into center field for a base hit. So the Foresters have their first base runner of the second game. And that'll bring up Kennedy Kroll, sophomore out of Claypool, Indiana, attended Whitco High School. Kroll was 2 for 3 in the opener, 2 runs scored, including a doubled and scored in the second inning, and then belted a home run in the 3-run 6th inning. Pitch in there for a called strike. Crowfoot the runner at first with nobody out here in the top of the second inning for Huntington. Shows bunt, and it's in front of the plate. Stoltz will pick it up. They'll throw to the second baseman. Bales covering, so 1-4 on the sacrifice. So the tying run is at second now with 1 out. Now bring up Joelle Beals. Beals, a junior out of Warrenton, Virginia. Beals was 1 for 2 in the opener with a run scored and a stolen base. Looks like we're going to have a runner out there that will be Megan Prater, will go in to run at second for Crowfoot. So Coach Gower putting a little bit more speed on the base pass here with 1 out here in the inning. That's going to be a swing and a miss. 0-1 to Joelle Beals. Beals with coming into action today was at 180 with 5 RBIs. Oh, she was 1 for 2 in the opener. 1-1 the count now on Joelle Beals. Megan Prater, the runner at second. That's going to be looped into right field for a base hit. The runner will stop at third. So Prater will stop at third. So runners on the corners with one out now for Huntington.
At bat, Rosalind Everhart.
Rosalind Everhart, who came in for defensive purposes in the first game. Everhart, a sophomore out of Heritage High School. So pitch is going to be for a strike, fouled away. Everhart on the season was at .375, no homers, no RBIs. She was 3 for 8 with 4 runs scored. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss. There's a snap throw down to second. They've got the run. They've got the runner in a rundown, and they're just going to let the 2 runners go back. So Everhart behind in the count now, 0-2. 0-2 the count here. No balls, 2 strikes, runners at first and third. There's high for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count here on Rosalind Everhart. Megan Prater, the runner at third. Joelle Beals, the runner at first. There's a check swing, foul behind the plate. Count will remain a ball and 2 strikes. One and 2 the count. 1 out, 2 on here for Huntington. They trail 1-0, and there's the pitch on the corner, and it's a dead ball, and she's hit by the pitch, so the bases are loaded now. So Beals will go to second. Everhart is at first, and Hannah Shoup.
At bat, Hannah Shoup.
Shoup, the sophomore out of Edwardsburg High School. Shoup coming into action today was at .250, 4 for 16 on the season. There's a pitch on the corner for a called strike. For Brooke Stoltz, that is the 8th person she has hit this season. So the bases loaded her with 1 out here in the top of the second inning. That's when he popped up out of play. So Stoltz ahead in the count now, 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to count here on Hannah Shoup. Megan Prater, the runner at third. There's a pitch for a ball and 2 strikes. Prater, the runner at third. Beals, the runner at second. Everhart, the runner at first. Pitch on the way. Outside for a ball, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count here on Hannah Shoup. 1-0 Bethel, but the Forsters have the bases loaded with 1 out. And that's outside for ball 3. So the count has gone full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three balls, 2 strikes to count, and that's going to be popped up into left field. Castro will make the catch, and no one will come. They're going to get a double play. They got the runner in a rundown, and now as they get back, but they've still. So what should have been a double play, as they had the runner off a third, but the ball went off the glove. So there are bases loaded now and 2 outs. So Marty Harris will come to the plate now. And Harris is hit by a pitch, and that'll tie the ball game. So the second hit batter in the inning. Harris, who was the flex player in the first game, played second base. So Marty Harris, the senior out of Bloomingdale, Michigan, who came into action today with a .065 batting average, picks up her second RBI of the season. So a misplay has allowed the Forsters to tie the game. So the pitch to Carly Blankenship is in there for a called strike, so the bases remain loaded. That's going to be loop foul. 0-2 the count. And there's a pitch inside for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1-1 tie here in the top half of the second inning as the Forsters take advantage of a couple of hit batters as that pitch will be fouled off out of play. Beals the runner at third, Everhart the runner at second, Harris the runner at first. 2 outs, a run in. We're tied at 1 here in the second inning. And that's grounded foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count here on Carly Blankenship. She grounded back to the mound her first time. Both teams have taken advantage of a miscue. As Pilots have a conference on the mound with Stultz. Bases remain loaded here in the second inning. Pitch on the way from Stultz. That's going to be lifted into left field. That ball will drift into foul, but there to make the catch will be Maribel Castro to retire the side. But the Forsters tie the game. 1 run on 2 hits. There was 1 error and 3 runners left on base. We head to the bottom of the second inning. Bethel and Huntington are tied 1-1. You are watching Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
They say growth is a journey and not a destination. At Teachers Credit Union, we agree. Helping our communities grow has been our mission ever since we began our journey in 1931. And supporting our members' growth has helped us to become Indiana's largest credit union. And we're just getting started. Whatever you want to grow, Teachers Credit Union is ready to help. Visit a branch or tcunet.com today. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA, and we are an equal housing opportunity.
Matt Copsey back here at Gardner Field as we head into the bottom of the second inning. It'll be Hannah Darling, Morgan Bales, and Brooke Stultz to face Anna Weigold. Darling in the opener was 0 for 1. That's going to be lifted into left field. Drifting back will be the left fielder Blankenship to make the catch. So 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom half of the second inning. And that'll bring up Morgan Bales. Bales, sophomore out of Columbia City High School. Bales was 0 for 3 in the opener. 1-1 tie, swing and a miss. Bethel got a run in the first, and error allowed Quinn Slotman to come in to score. Slotman had singled, stole second, and then came around on an error. 1-1 the count now on Bales, and then the Forsters tied it as a result of a hit batter, Marty Harris, allowing pinch runner Megan Prater to score. The count is now 1-2, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count here on Morgan Bales. That's going to be grounded to shortstop. Beals will pick it up, and the throw will be in time. 2 outs. 2 outs for the pitcher, Brooke Stultz. Brooke Stultz, who is 190 on the season with 2 RBIs, 4 for 21, left-handed hitter. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss. 0-1. 1-1 tie here in the bottom of the second inning. Game 2 of our doubleheader. Huntington won the opener 4-0 behind the no-hitter from Megan Fretz. Stoltz, left-handed hitter, former Mishawaka Caveman. Pitch outside. Pitch on the way from Weigold. It's going to be popped up. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count here. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. That's going to be lined into center field for a base hit. So Stoltz is aboard with a 2-out single. And now bring up Maribel Castro.
At bat, Maribel Castro.
Castro was 0 for 2 in the first game. The freshman from out of Oceanside, California. Pitch on the way. 1 ball and no strikes to count here on Castro. Pitch in there for a called strike. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brooke Stoltz, the runner at first with 2 outs. Here in the bottom half of the second inning. Pitch, it's going to be lined. That'll go into center field for a base hit just out of the reach of Weigold. So the Pilots, with back-to-back 2-out singles here in the bottom of the second inning, will bring up Marilyn Showalter. Showalter was 0 for 2 in the opener. Showalter, the sophomore out of Marquette Heights, Illinois. So first and second with 2 outs for Bethel here in the bottom of the second inning. Pilots with 3 hits already in the ball game. High for a ball. Bethel was limited to no hits and just 2 base runners in the opener, which Huntington won 4-0. And that's going to be outside for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to count here on Marilyn Showalter. Stoltz the runner at second, Castro the runner at first, and that's low for ball 3. So 3 balls and no strikes to count here. 3-0 count on the way, and that's in there for a called strike. 3-1. Three balls and 1 strike to count, and that's going to be popped up. That one will be out of play. So the count will go full on Showalter. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Quinn Slotman in the on-deck circle for the Pilots. Pilots decked out in the white jersey tops with royal blue numbers, blue pants, white socks. That's going to be popped up. Third baseman Kroll will make the catch in foul territory to retire the side. In the bottom half of the second inning for the Pilots, no runs, 2 hits, 2 left. We will head to inning number 3. Huntington and Bethel are tied 1-1. You are watching Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Centier Bank is Indiana's largest private family-owned bank. Since 1895, the Schrag family has built a legacy of success through business and by servicing the communities of northern and central Indiana. Centier's not-for-sale promise pledges to the communities we serve that we will continue to preserve independent banking in Indiana for generations to come. Centier Bank is proud to serve the communities of northern and central Indiana. Please visit Centier.com for more information, and don't forget to like us on Facebook, member FDIC.
Sophia Beachy will lead off the top half of the third inning. It'll be Beachy, Eichelberger, and Crowfoot here to face Brooke Stoltz.
Sophia Beachy.
Beachy grounded out to the first baseman Riley back in the first inning. 1-1 tie here in the third inning, game 2. That one's going to be chopped foul. 0-1. Sophia Beachy, the sophomore from Kokomo, Indiana, attended Northwestern High School. Pitch on the way, popped up on the infield. Second baseman Bales will drift under it and make the catch. So 1 out here in the third. Now bring up Paige Eichelberger.
At bat, Paige Eichelberger.
Eichelberger was a strikeout victim her first time in the first inning. 1-1 tie. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error for Huntington. 1 run, 3 hits, 1 error for the Pilots. Pitch on the way. That's going to be lifted right to the third baseman, Reese. So there's 2 outs. So 2 quick outs here in the third, and that will bring up Jada Crowfoot.
At bat, Jada Crowfoot.
Crowfoot got a base hit her first time, and then Megan Prater, the pinch runner, came around to score. That's high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Crowfoot, the sophomore from Northridge High School, left-handed hitter. Pitch on the way. On the corner for a called strike, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ball game in the third inning. That's to be grounded into right field for a base hit. So Crowfoot with 2 back-to-back singles here. She has 2 of Huntington's 3 hits. Kennedy Kroll, who had a sacrifice her last time, comes to the plate. Pitch on the way. Called strike 1. 0-1 the count here on Kennedy Kroll, sophomore from Whitco, Indiana. As the wind starts to pick up a little bit here at Gardner Field. Huntington won the opener by a count of 4-0 as Stoltz and Hannah Darling have a quick conference, and they are done now. One ball and 1 strike. Two and 1. 2 balls and 1 strike to count here on Kennedy Kroll. Jada Crowfoot, the runner at first, with 2 outs here in the top half of the third inning of a 1-1 tie. That's going to be a little looper into left field. That's going to drop in for a base hit, and the runner will stop at second. So runners at first and second.
Joelle Beals.
Joelle Beals, who had a base hit her last time. So the Pilots had 2 hits with 2 outs in the second inning and weren't able to score. The Forsters here with 2 hits and 2 outs here in the third. 4 hits on the afternoon now for Huntington. Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss to Beals. The junior from Warrenton, Virginia. Pitch on the way. That's going to be popped up. Castro, the right fielder, will come on to make the catch to retire the side. In the top half of the third inning for the Forsters, no runs, 2 hits, 2 left. We will head to the bottom of the third inning. Bethel and Huntington are tied 1-1. You're watching Bethel College softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
It's pouring rain. It's real dark outside. Your heart starts beating really, really fast. You've never done anything so hard in your life. This is boot camp. This is the real thing now. It's such extreme pain, you don't understand how you can finish. I began to feel that there was no way I was ever going to have my title, U.S. Marine. It takes special inner strength, courage, and desire to do this. I was just thinking, I'm so close, I'm so close. And when I finished, I was like, I'm done. I did it. The moment I will never forget is when this drill instructor that I admire so much comes up to me straight in front of me, put her arm on my shoulder and said, "Good morning, Marine."
PFC Summer Volkman became a Marine. Can you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES. The few, the proud, the Marines.
We head to the bottom of the third inning, a 1-1 tie. First pitch to Quinn Slotman. Swing and a miss. Slotman singled, stole a base and scored back in the first inning. The Pilots run. We're at a 1-1 tie here in the bottom of the third inning. Pitch, and that's going to be grounded, picked up by the shortstop Beals, and the throw will be in time. So 1 out here in the third. That'll bring up Haley Stinson. Stinson had a sacrifice and was able to reach on a error by the second baseman. So 1 out, bases empty here in the bottom half of the third inning. Ball 1 to Stinson. Pitch on the way. In there for a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's going to be grounded. Off the glove of the second baseman, that's going to be a base hit. It's a nice attempt by the second baseman, Harris, but it'll go for a base hit, and that'll bring up Hunter Brummett. Hunter Brummett, the senior out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, attended Homestead High School. There's a bunt in front of the plate. It'll be a strike. 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to count here on Hunter Brummett. Pitch on the way. There's a bunt in front of the plate. It'll be picked up. Third baseman throw will be in time. It will go 5-3 on the sacrifice by Brummett. So there are 2 outs. Stinson will go to second, and Megan Riley, who grounded out in front of the plate her last time. So the Pilots have the go-ahead run at second base, and that's going to be looped into left field. That ball's going to drop in for a base hit. Stopping at third will be Stinson. So the Pilots, with runners at first and third and 2 outs, and that'll bring up Hannah Darling. Darling, who flew out to left field her last time. So the Pilots now with 5 hits in this second game after having no hits in the opener. We're in a 1-1 tie here in the bottom half of the third inning. Haley Stinson, the runner at third. Megan Riley, the runner at first with 2 outs. Pitch outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Pitch on the way, on the corner for a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. That's going to be chop foul. 1 and 2. Stinson, the runner at third. Riley, the runner at first. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning, a 1-1 tie. And that's on the corner for a ball, 2 and 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch on the way. That's going to be lifted into left. Coming over to make the catch in foul territory will be Blankenship to retire the side. For Bethel in the bottom half of the third inning, no runs, 2 hits, 2 left. We will head to inning number 4. Bethel and Huntington tied 1-1. You're watching Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
They say growth is a journey and not a destination. At Teachers Credit Union, we agree. Helping our communities grow has been our mission ever since we began our journey in 1931. And supporting our members' growth has helped us to become Indiana's largest credit union. And we're just getting started. Whatever you want to grow, Teachers Credit Union is ready to help. Visit a branch or tcunet.com today. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA, and we are an equal housing opportunity.
Welcome back here to Gardner Field. We head into the head into the top of the fourth inning. Bethel and Huntington in a 1-1 tie. Pilots picked up their run in the first inning on an error, allowing Quinn Slotman to score, and the Forsters tied the ball game in the second inning on a hit batter when Marty Harris was hit by a bat, allowing pinch runner Megan Prater to score. So it'll be Rosalind Everhart, Hannah Shoup, and Marty Harris here to face Brooke Stoltz. Everhart was hit by a pitch back in the second inning. And that's going to be grounded to the third baseman. Reese will pick it up. One pitch, one out here in the fourth inning.
At bat, Hannah Shoup.
Stoltz through the first 3 and a third innings has allowed 4 hits, 1 run on 4 hits. She has fanned 1 and hit 2 batters, has not walked anyone so far. Hannah Shoup flew out the left fielder last time. There's a pitch for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. The count here on Hannah Shoup. On the corner for a called strike, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike. That's inside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. Pitch outside, 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike. Bethel got a run in the first. Huntington got a run in the second. Huntington was a 4-0 winner in game 1, and that's going to be outside for ball 4. So that's the first walk issued by Brooke Stoltz. And that'll bring up Marty Harris. Marty Harris was hit by a pitch, accounting for her first RBI for the RBI that allowed Megan Prater to come in to score. So 1 out, 1 on, 1 on, 1 out here in the fourth. Stoltz's pitch on the corner for a called strike. One ball, 1 strike. That's a swing and a miss, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes to count here on Marty Harris. Pitch on the way. That's going to be grounded foul down the third base side. Count will remain 0-2. 1 run, 5 hits, 1 error for Bethel. 1 run, 4 hits, 1 error for Huntington here with 1 out, 1 on. And there's a pitch low. One ball, 2 strikes to count here on Marty Harris. Pitch on the way. Lifted foul out of play. So the count will remain 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count here. Hannah Shoup, the runner at first with 1 out here in the top half of the fourth inning. We're tied 1-1. Stoltz's pitch, that's going to be lined into center field for a base hit, and the runners will stop at first and second. And that'll take us back to the top of the order for Carly Blankenship. Blankenship is 0 for 2 in the ball game. Grounded back to the mound in the first and then flew out to the left fielder. The left fielder Castro back in the second inning. Blankenship, the junior out of Noblesville, Indiana. Looks like we're going to have a runner out there, number 24, Danae Rice. So Rice will come in to run at second base. So the Forsters They put a pinch runner in back in for Jada Crowfoot back in the second inning, and it worked. So Rice is on its second now. Pitch on the way. That's be grounded through the legs of the third baseman. Here comes the run, going to score, and it's now a 2-1 game. And the throw to third, and the runner will be safe. And the runner heads over to second. So an E5 has given the Forsters a 2-1 lead here in the ball game. So the runners come in to score. So runners at second and third now for Huntington. A run in. And Beachy, who's 0 for 2. So it's 2-1 Huntington now. As the error by the third baseman, Reese, allows the run to come in to score. Pitch on the way, high for a ball. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to count here on Beachy. And that's going to be lined to the shortstop. They're going to have a double play. So it was lined to Slotman at short, and then they go over to third, 6-5, for the double play to end the inning. But the Forsters pick up an unearned run on 1 hit. There was 1 error and 1 runner left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It is Huntington 2 and Bethel 1. Take this opportunity to let you know that Beef O'Brady's in Granger now features Build Your Own Burger Mondays. Enjoy a fresh Angus burger with lettuce, tomato, pickle, onions, and mayo plus fries for just $5.99. Beef's also has award-winning wings, salads, and wraps. Located at State Road 23 and Bittersweet Road, they also have dine-in and carry-out service available and are open for lunch at 11 a.m. 7 days a week. For more information, call 574-271-1415. Beef O'Brady's, good food, good sports. And stack them deep and sell them cheap. Stop by the Gates Automotive Group for their Zero Down Sign and Drive event. All they need is a signature for you to drive new, and you keep your tax return. Stop by Gates Chevy World, Gates Toyota, Gates of Granger, Gates Downtown South Bend, or the new Gates of Elkhart to sign and drive today. Come into a Gates Automotive location near you, or go to www.gatesautomotive.com/stack for more information. Matt Copsey back here at Gardner Field as we go into the bottom of the 4th inning. 2-1 in favor of Huntington as the Forsters pick up an unearned run there in the top half of the 4th inning. Do it for the Pilots here. It'll be Morgan Bales, Brooke Stoltz, and Mary Bell Castro here to face Anna Weigold. Weigold through the first 3 innings has allowed 1 run on 5 hits. She has walked no one, struck out no one. The run she gave up was unearned. So pitch on the way. That's going to be grounded into the hole, into left field for a base hit. So Morgan Bales is on here to start the bottom half of the 4th inning. Stoltz had a base hit her first time. 2-1 Huntington here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Huntington was a 4-0 winner in Game 1 behind Megan Fretz's no-hitter. And Fretz helped her own cause with 3 hits and 2 RBIs. There's a bunt, and coming on will be the third base, and that's going to be a base hit. So an infield single for Brooke Stoltz, and the Pilots now have runners at first and second with nobody out here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. And that'll bring up Mary Bell Castro, who had a base hit her last time. As it looks like we're going to have a pitching change on here for Huntington. As it looks like coming on to pitch will be Mallory West. So Anna Weigold will leave, and coming on will be Mallory West, a sophomore out of Jackson, Michigan. West comes into action today with a 2-6 record. This will be her 9th appearance. She has a 4.67 ERA. In 36 innings pitched, she's allowed 57 hits, 37 runs, 24 of them earned, 8 walks, 18 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting .435 against the left-hander. So the Pilots, with something going here in the bottom half of the 4th inning, trailing at 2-1, but Morgan Bales is at second, Brooke Stoltz is at first.
Now pitching Mallory West.
So West will face Maribel Castro here, who had a base hit her last time. There's a pitch, and that's going to be off the glove, and the runners are going to move up to second and third on the pass ball. So the Pilots now with the tying run at third and the go-ahead run at second with nobody out here in the bottom half of the 4th inning, trailing 2-1. Pitch on the way. That's in there for a called strike, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike to count here on Castro. Pitch on the way. That's going to be popped up. That ball is going to be drop in there for a base hit. There will be no play as the runner will go to third and the runner will go to second. So Castro with a base hit. The game is tied now at 2-2 for Marilyn Showalter. So the Pilots with runners at second and third and nobody out. There's a bunt. The throw will go to first and the play will be not in time. So Showalter is safe. That's going to be a fielder's choice. So the bases are loaded now, as Showalter is safe on a fielder's choice. So the bases are loaded with nobody out or run in. Stoltz is at third, Castro at second, Showalter at first for Quinn Slotman, who singled and scored in the first and grounded to the shortstop, Beals, in her last at bat. Pitch on the way. That's going to be lifted into right field, drifting back into foul territory, and it will be a foul ball. So 1 ball and 1 strike to count here to Quinn Slotman. Ball game in the bottom half of the 4th inning. A run in on the hit by Castro, and there's a swing and a miss from Slotman. A ball and 2 strikes. 2-2 tie here in the bottom of the 4th. Bethel got a run in the first and a run here in the 4th. Huntington with single runs in the 2nd and 4th innings. Pitch on the way. That's going to be popped up behind home plate. Coming on will be the catcher to make that will be the catcher, Beachy, to make the catch. So that's 1 out. So that's 1 out for Huntington here, and that will bring up Haley Stinson. Stinson reached on an error and then had a base hitter last time. So the bases are loaded with 1 out now. And there's a pitch outside, and it's off the glove. Here comes the run, going to try to score, and she is safe. So a pass ball has given the Pilots a 3-2 lead. As the ball off of Beachy's glove allows Stoltz to come in to score. Both runners move up to second and third, so the second pass ball of the inning. Two and 0 the count on Stinson. Runners at second and third. And that's going to be outside for a ball. Three balls and no strikes to count here on Haley Stinson with Hunter Brummett on deck. Pitch on the way. That's going to be low for ball 4. So that will reload the bases. for Hunter Brummett, who is 0 for 1, grounded to short. She had a sacrificer last time. You could close the book on Anna Weigold. She goes 3 innings, allows 3 runs on 7 hits, and there's a pitch high for a ball. 3 runs on 7 hits. And there's a pitch in for a called strike. One ball, one strike to count here on Hunter Brummett. Castro the runner at third, Showalter the runner at second, Stinson the runner at first. Hunter Brummett, the senior out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, Homestead High School product. And that's going to be lined into center left field for a base hit. 1 run will score, and everybody will move up 90 feet. So give Brummett an RBI single. It's now 4-2 in favor of the Pilots. Now bring up Megan Riley, who's 1 for 2. So Showalter goes to third. Stinson is at second. And now Brummett is on at first. Bethel leading 4-2. And there's a pitch for a called strike. 8th person to bat in the inning for the Pilots. Pitch on the way. And that's lifted into left field, but right there to make the catch will be Blankenship. Here comes the runner going to try to score, and the play will not be. So give Megan Riley an RBI. So there's 2 outs in the inning. And it's now a 5-2 game as the Pilots have played at 4 runs here in the inning. Stinson remains at second, Brummett at first. So Hannah Darling will be the 9th person to bat in the inning for the Pilots as there's a pitch outside for a ball. Bethel now leads this one 5-2. 5-2 Pilots here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. That's pitch, called strike, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike. Pitch on the way. That's going to be popped up. Behind home plate, the catcher will come back, but will have no play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes to count here on Hannah Darling. Ball game in the bottom half of the 4th inning. High for a ball. 2-2, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes to count. That ball is outside for a ball. So the count is full. So Stinson, the runner at second, and Brummett, the runner at first, on the full count with 2 outs, will be moving on the pitch. Payoff on the way. That's going to be lifted foul from Mallory West. (5-2) Bethel here in the bottom of the 4th. Pilots picked up 4 runs here in the inning. And that's going to be jammed foul. Pilots with 4 hits in the inning have scored 4 times. A couple of pass balls have helped as well. Pitch on the way, and that's outside for ball 4. So the bases will reload now, and that'll bring up Morgan Bales.
At bat, Morgan Bales.
Bales, who singled and scored earlier in the inning. So Bethel now with a 5-2 lead, and the bases remain loaded with a chance to do some more damage here. Brummett goes to second, and that's high for a ball to Bales. Stinson is now at third, and Darling the runner at first. 2 outs, 4 runs in for the Pilots. And that's jammed for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. 5-2 Pilots. Huntington won the opener 4-0 behind the pitching and hitting of Megan Fritz. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count here on Morgan Bales. And that's going to be high for a ball, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bases loaded, pitch on the way, and there's a swing and a miss for strike 3. But the Pilots send 10 batters to the plate here in the 4th inning. They score 4 times on 4 hits. There were no errors and 3 runners left on base. We head to inning number 5. Bethel 5, Huntington 2. You are watching Bethel College Softball right here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Centier Bank is Indiana's largest private family-owned bank. Since 1895, the Schrag family has built a legacy of success through business and by servicing the communities of northern and central Indiana. Centier's not-for-sale promise pledges to the communities we serve that we will continue to preserve independent banking in Indiana for generations to come. Centier Bank is proud to serve the communities of northern and central Indiana. Please visit Centier.com for more information, and don't forget to like us on Facebook, member FDIC.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Paige Eichelberger will lead off the top half of the 5th inning for Huntington. The Pilots have taken a 5-2 lead on the strength of a 4-run inning. That's going to be popped up on the infield. Second baseman Bales will drift over and make the catch. So 1 pitch, 1 out here in the top half of the 5th inning, and that will bring up Jada Crowfoot. Crowfoot is 2 for 2 in the ball game. Pair of singles for the former Northridge Raider, sophomore now here at Huntington. Pitch lifted into left center field. Drifting over will be Castro. So 2 pitches, 2 outs here in the 5th. And that'll bring up Kennedy Kroll. Kroll is 1 for 1 in the ball game. She had a singler last time. So this is exactly what you'd like to see from Brooke Stoltz after her team went out and got her 4 runs. A 3-run cushion. 2 pitches, 2 outs here in the top half of the 5th inning. That's high for a ball. 5-2 Bethel here in the top of the 5th inning. 2 outs, bases empty for the Forsters. Pitch on the way. A little bit high, ball 2. Stoltz has allowed 5 hits. She's walked 1, hit 2, and struck out 1. There's a pitch on the corner for a called strike, 2-1. Both runs she has given up have been unearned. And there's another pitch on the corner for a called strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count here on Kennedy Kroll. Pitch on the way, high for ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Bases empty, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning for the Forsters. And that's going to be grounded foul. Three balls, 2 strikes to count here on Kennedy Kroll. Huntington won the opener 4-0. The Forsters got a run in the 2nd inning on an RBI single by winning pitcher Megan Fritz, who then belted a 2-run homer in a 3-run 6th inning for the Forsters. And in addition, Fritz threw a no-hitter. Pitch on the way, called strike 3 on the corner. Strikeout number 2 on the afternoon for Stultz, her second 1-2-3 inning. We will head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Bethel leads Huntington by the count of 5-2. Beef O'Brady's in Granger now features Taco Tuesdays. Enjoy 2 tacos, your choice of chicken, steak, or fish, with chips and salsa for just $5.99. Also from 4 to 8 p.m. on Tuesday, kids 12 and under can eat for free with a paying adult. Located at State Road 23 and Bittersweet Road, Beef's is open for lunch at 11 a.m. 7 days a week. For more information, call 574-271-1415. Beef O'Brady's, good food, good sports. And with 5 Gates Automotive locations in Michiana, you're sure to find the Toyota or Chevrolet you need. Whether you're looking to buy new or used or just wanting to keep your car on the road, Gates Automotive offers services for all your vehicle's needs. See for yourself and stop in at a Gates location today, or for more information, go to www.gatesautomotive.com. Matt Copsey back here at Gardner Field as we head into the bottom half of the 5th inning. Brooke Stultz, Maribel Castro, and Marilyn Showalter here to face Mallory West, who enters her first full inning in relief. West came on in the 4th inning for Anna Weigold and proceeded to allow 2 runs with on just 2 hits. She had 2 walks in the inning and a strikeout. So it looks like we're going to have another new pitcher come on. So this looks to be this will be Mackenzie Burke. Mackenzie Burke will come on to pitch now, the right-hander. And Mackenzie Burke, this will be her second appearance. She has no...
Now pitching Mackenzie Burke.
So Danae Rice will stay in the ballgame and go to right field.
At bat, Brooke Stultz.
So we will try to give you some more of this. Kiara Stacy's on to catch, it looks like. So that's going to be fouled away by Stultz. So Mackenzie Burke, the sophomore from Union High School. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to count here. We're in the bottom half of the 5th inning, 5-2 in favor of the Pilots. Fouled away. 1 and 2. Fouled away. One ball, 2 strikes to count here on Brooke Stultz. Pitch on the way. That's going to be lifted into center field, coming over and to make the catch. So there's 1 out here in the bottom half of the 5th inning.
At bat, Maribel Castro.
So the Sophia Beachy makes the catch out there. So Beachy's back in center field now. So 1 pitch, that's going to be lined into left field for a base hit. So Castro with her 3rd hit of the afternoon in this 2nd game. Pilots now with 9 hits, 10 hits, here in the 2nd game. Marilyn Showalter, who reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the 4-run 4th inning. So the Pilots with runners at runner at first. There's a swing, a throw, and the runner will be safe. Maribel Castro, the runner at first, with one out here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. Pilots lead at 5-2. There's a pitch, goes bunt, pulls back. Showalter, 0 for 2 with a run scored here in the contest. Shows bunt, and it's in front of the plate. Nice one. It's going to be picked up by the pitcher. The throw will be in time. So 1-3 on the sacrifice for the second out of the inning.
Clint Slotman.
Clint Slotman will come to the plate. Slotman 1 for 3. 5-2 Pilots here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. Big insurance run for the Pilots there at second base. Pitch a little bit low for a ball. Pitch fouled back, 1-1. One ball, one strike, the count here on Quinn Slotman. Pitch will be fouled back, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes, the count here. Castro, the runner at second. 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Bethel leads at 5-2. That's going to be up the middle for a base hit. Here comes the runner around third. Here comes the throw home, and it will be offline into second base, and the runner will be safe. So Slotman with an RBI single, and the Pilots now lead at 6-2. So Castro comes around to give the Pilots a 4-run lead. And takes second on the throw. Now bring up Haley Stinson, who is one for one officially in the ballgame. She had a sacrifice and reached on an error, a base hit in the third, and walked in the fourth. Pitch on the way, that's low for a ball. So the count, runner at second, pitch on the way. That's going to be grounded to the shortstop, picked up, and the throw will be in time to retire the side. But the Pilots pick up a run on 2 hits, excuse me. There were no errors. And 1 runner left on base. We will head to the 6th inning. Bethel leads this one by the count of 6-2. You are watching Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
They say growth is a journey and not a destination. At Teachers Credit Union, we agree. Helping our communities grow has been our mission ever since we began our journey in 1931. And supporting our members' growth has helped us to become Indiana's largest credit union. And we're just getting started. Whatever you want to grow, Teachers Credit Union is ready to help. Visit a branch or tcunet.com today. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA, and we are an equal housing opportunity.
Joelle Beals will lead off the top of the 6th inning for the Huntington Foresters, who trail this one 6-2. First pitch from Brooke Stoltz is in for a called strike. Stoltz is around 2 runs on 5 hits. Both runs have been unearned. Beals 1 for 2 on the afternoon. In there for a called strike. Bethel got a run in the first. Huntington tied it in the second. Huntington took the lead in the fourth inning, and then the Pilots sent 10 people to the plate in the fourth inning, scored 4 times, and then they added a run in the fifth. They lead at 6-2 here in the top of the 6th inning. 1-2 the count on Beals. And that's going to be fisted foul down the third base side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Don't forget, we will be back here at Gardner Field tomorrow as the Cougars of St. Francis out of Fort Wayne will pay a visit here to Gardner Field for a 3 p.m. doubleheader. You can join myself, Matt Copsey, around 2:45. That's when we popped up first base side. Coming over to make the catch will be Bales. So that's 1 out here in the top of the 6th. That will bring up Kiara Stacy, who came in to catch. Stacy, who came in to do the catching in the last half of the inning. That's in there for ball 1. Stacy in game number 1 was 0 for 3. That's in there, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. So pitch on the way. In there for a called strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two balls, 1 strike to count here on Kiara Stacy. That's going to be inside for ball 3. 3 balls and a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike to count here on Kiara Stacy. Pitch on the way. That's going to be lined into center field, but right there it will be Showalter to make the catch. So 2 outs here in the top half of the 6th inning. And this will bring up Danae Rice, who came in the last half of the inning to play right field. Bases empty, 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Do it for the Pilots in the bottom half of the 6th inning. It'll be Brummett, Riley, and Darling as the Pilots own a 6-2 lead. Swing and a miss. 1, 2, 3 go the Forsters here in the top half of the 6th inning. 8 in a row now retired by Brooke Stoltz. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Bethel 6, Huntington 2. You're watching Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
There's always a moment of truth where I say, look, it's either put up or shut up. And it was time to put up. I had crossed that thin line. It was 100+ degrees. We were hot. We were on fire. We were yelling our hearts out. You could feel the intensity rising. Even in our tiredness, even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continued to push. I told myself, you can suck up the pain for another 1.5 miles, and you will be a Marine. Not many people believe that I could do it. I don't know where I got the energy from. I don't know where the pain went to. But all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Matt Copsey back here at Gardner Field as we head into the bottom half of the 6th inning. Bethel with a 6-2 lead here on Huntington, as we will have a new catcher come in for the Forsters. This will be Amber Kloppenstein will come in, the junior out of Archibald, Ohio. She will come in to do the catching now. And due up for the Pilots here in the bottom half of the 6th inning, it'll be Hunter Brummett, Megan Riley, and Hannah Darling here to face Mackenzie Burke, who came on to start the 5th inning. So the Forsters down to their final 3 outs here in game 2 as they won the opener 4-0. That's going to be fouled off. 0-1 to Hannah Darling, to Hunter Brummett, who is 1 for 2 on the day. She grounded out to short in the 1st, had a sacrifice in the 3rd, and had an RBI single in the 4-run 4th inning. That's in there for a called strike. No balls and 2 strikes to count here. No balls, 2 strikes to count here to Hunter Brummett. Pitch on the way. That's going to be grounded to the first baseman. Eichelberger will pick it up and step on the bag. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They'll bring up Megan Riley.
At bat, Megan Riley.
Riley, 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Grounded to the catcher in the 1st. Had a base hit in the 3rd, and then had a sacrifice fly in the 4th inning. That's going to be lined foul down the first base line. 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to count here on Riley. Pitch on the way. Low for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to count here on Megan Riley. Ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. 1 out, nobody on here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 6-2 Pilots. That's going to be lined out of play. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes. There's a pitch outside for a ball, so the count will go full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Bethel leads Huntington 6-2. Huntington was a 4-0 winner in game 1. Pitch on the way, in the dirt for ball 4. So the Pilots with a base runner here. That'll bring up Hannah Darling. And it looks like we might have a runner here for Megan Riley, as Scott Reese is going through his lineup card. It looks like coming in to run, that's going to be Maddie Morgan. So Maddie Morgan will come in to run at here in the 6th inning. Hannah Darling 0 for 2 on the ball game. As Coach Reese takes a timeout here to talk to his sophomore catcher. Back in the box. 1 on, 1 out here in the 6th. Bethel leads at 6-2. Pitch on the way. There's a bunt in front of the plate, and I think the batter's going to be out. So she's going to be out 2 unassisted. 2 unassisted because the ball hit her in the play. So she'll be out 2 unassisted. So that's going to be 2 outs now. And that'll bring up Morgan Bales. Bales 1 for 3 with a run scored. Pitch on the way. Outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Bales grounded to short in the second and then had a single and scored and struck out in the 4th inning. There's a chopped foul, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. The count here. (6-2) Pilots here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2 outs and a runner at first. Pitch in the dirt. That ball's going to skip away. Here goes the runner, Morgan, to second, and she will be in there. So that's going to be a wild pitch to send the runner to second. So another runner in scoring position for the Pilots here in the bottom of the 6th inning. As Burke, the 3rd pitcher on, that's going to be grounded to the second baseman, and they will throw him out. For Bethel in the bottom of the 6th inning, no runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We will head to inning number 7. Bethel needs 3 outs to snap a 5-game losing streak. They lead this one 6-2 over Huntington. You're watching Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Centier Bank is Indiana's largest private family-owned bank. Since 1895, the Schrag family has built a legacy of success through business and by servicing the communities of northern and central Indiana. Centier's not-for-sale promise pledges to the communities we serve that we will continue to preserve independent banking in Indiana for generations to come. Centier Bank is proud to serve the communities of northern and central Indiana. Please visit Centier.com for more information, and don't forget to like us on Facebook, member FDIC.
Matt Copsey here at Gardner Field as we head into the top half of the 7th inning. Marty Harris will lead it off for the Forsters.
Marty Harris.
Harris was hit by a pitch and got an RBI in the 2nd inning and then had a base hit and then was doubled up in the 4th inning. So she's 1 for 1. Harris to lead off the 7th inning. That one's going to be lined foul down the 3rd base side. 0-1. 6-2 Bethel. Pilots got a run in the 1st. They got 4 in the 4th and 1 in the 5th. Huntington got single runs in the 2nd and 4th innings. Huntington won the opener by a count of 4-0 behind the pitching of Megan Fretz and the hitting of Megan Fretz as well. Pitch on the way, checked swing foul, so it's 0-2. Brooke Stoltz in line to pick up her 5th win on the season. She's at 4-6 on the season. There's a pitch high for a ball, 1-2. She is fan 3, walk 2. Walked 1, excuse me. Hit a batter, and that hit 2 batters. 1-2 the count. She's allowed just 5 hits. Both runs have been unearned. 1-2 the count here on Marty Harris. Leading off the top of the 7th inning for the Huntington Foresters. That's fouled back this way. So the count will remain a ball and 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes to count here on Marty Harris. Bases empty, nobody out, top of the 7th inning. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So that's the first out of the inning. 4th strikeout of the afternoon for Brooke Stoltz. Carly Blankenship, who is 0 for 3. She reached on an error the last time, which allowed at the time, the go-ahead run to score. And there's a bunt in front. It would be fouled off, strike 1. Strike 1 the count here to Blankenship. (6-2 Bethel), 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. That's going to be line foul, so we'll be heading the count 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes to count here on Blankenship. Brooke Stoltz twirls the ball around. Pitch on the way. High for a ball, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count here on Carly Blankenship. Sophia Beachy waiting to hit on deck. Pitch on the way outside for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, nobody on here in the top of the 7th inning. Pitch on the way, that's going to be fouled down the third base side. Bethel and St. Francis tomorrow afternoon, both in baseball and softball. The baseball team is scheduled for a doubleheader at 1 p.m. at Patterson Field. The softball teams will play at 3 here tomorrow. Check swing, that's going to be strike 3. So there's 2 outs. 6 strikeouts now for
Sophia Beachy.
6 strikeouts now, and Sophia Beachy represents the last hope for the Forsters here in Game 2 as the Pilots look to gain a split. That's going to be popped up third base side out of play, 0-1. Ball game just over an hour and a half old. Pilots trying to snap a 5-game losing streak and earn a split. They lead at 6-2, 2 outs. Outside for a ball, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike to count here on Sophia Beachy. Beachy 0 for 3 on the ball game. High for a ball, 2-1. And that's ball 3. 5 strikeouts on the afternoon for Stoltz. 2 hit batters, 1 walk. She's allowed 5 hits. And that's high for ball 4. So the Forster's still alive for the first baseman, Paige Eichelberger. Eichelberger 0 for 3.
At bat, Paige Eichelberger.
Eichelberger was a strikeout victim in the first. She popped up to the third baseman Reese in the third, and then popped up to the second baseman Bales. There's one on the corner for a called strike. No balls and a strike. Pilots 1 out away from snapping a 5-game losing streak and earning a split, and that's going to be lifted in the air. Showalter will come in to make the catch, and the Pilots have come away with a split in the doubleheader for Huntington in the top half of the 7th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left. Final score in Game 2, Bethel 6 and Huntington 2. We'll be back to recap it and recap the day. After this, you're watching Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
There's always a moment of truth where I say, look, it's either put up or shut up. And it was time to put up. I had crossed that thin line. It was 100+ degrees. We were hot. We were on fire. We were yelling our hearts out. You could feel the intensity rising. Even in our tiredness, even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continued to push. I told myself, you can suck up the pain for another 1.5 miles, and you will be a Marine. Not many people believe that I could do it. I don't know where I got the energy from. I don't know where the pain went to. But all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES. The few, the proud, the Marines.
They say growth is a journey and not a destination. At Teachers Credit Union, we agree. Helping our communities grow has been our mission ever since we began our journey in 1931. And supporting our members' growth has helped us to become Indiana's largest credit union. And we're just getting started. Whatever you want to grow, Teachers Credit Union is ready to help. Visit a branch or tcunet.com today. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA, and we are an equal housing opportunity.
The entire world watched. They watched each step down the rungs of that small ladder, one after another, and waited with great anticipation for that last step.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
At that moment, humanity saw the impossible become the possible, and today the sky is not the limit. Achievement. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Centier Bank is Indiana's largest private family-owned bank. Since 1895, the Schrag family has built a legacy of success through business and by servicing the communities of northern and central Indiana. Centier's not-for-sale promise pledges to the communities we serve that we will continue to preserve independent banking in Indiana for generations to come. Centier Bank is proud to serve the communities of northern and central Indiana. Please visit Centier.com for more information, and don't forget to like us on Facebook, member FDIC.
Matt Copsey back here at Gardner Field as the Bethel College softball team earns a split in the doubleheader by winning the second game by a score of 6-2. 6 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors for the Pilots. They left 9 runners on base. 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for the Foresters. They left 7 runners on base. The winning pitcher was Brooke Stoltz. She improves to 5-6. The loser for the Foresters was Anna Weigold. And Weigold on the season drops to 0-1. Time of the game was 1 hour and 35 minutes. Taking a look at how our scoring got going, the Pilots got a run in the first inning. Quinn Slotman reached on a base hit, stole second, and then came around on an error by the second baseman. The Foresters tied the game in the second inning when Marty Harris was hit by a pitch, allowing pinch runner Megan Prater to come in to score. The Foresters took a 2-1 lead in the fourth inning when Hannah Shoup walked and then scored on an error by the third baseman to make it 2-1, and then the Pilots sent 10 players to the plate in the bottom half of the fourth inning and scored 4 times. Maribel Castro with an RBI single. A fielder's choice, a passed ball allowed another run to score, and then a RBI single by Hunter Brummett and an sacrifice fly off the bat of Megan Riley accounted for that, and then the Pilots got another run on Quinn in the fifth inning when Quinn Slotman delivered an RBI single. 6 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors, 9 runners left on base. For Huntington, 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. The Foresters left 7 runners on base. In Game 1, the Foresters were a 4-0 winner. 4 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. The Foresters left 6 runners on base for the Pilots. No runs, no hits, 1 error. Bethel only had 2 base runners in the ball game. The winning pitcher was Megan Fretz. She improved to 5-4 in the ball game. As we mentioned, she only allowed 2 base runners. And the losing pitcher for the Pilots was Bethany Caldwell, who dropped 0-1. Time of the first game was 1 hour and 14 minutes. So the Pilots on the season now improved to 6-18. They are 3-11 in conference play, and Huntington drops to 8-12 and 4-6. We're going to step aside one more time. We hope to have Scott Reese, head coach, join us here on the post-game show. As the final score in Game 2, it was Bethel 6, Huntington 2, and then Huntington won the opener by the count of 4-1. You're watching Bethel College softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back here to Gardner Field, where the Bethel College Pilots have earned a doubleheader split, winning 6-2 in the second game after Huntington won the opener 4-0, excuse me. Bethel College will be in action again tomorrow, a doubleheader against St. Francis here at Gardner Field, beginning at 3 p.m. You can join myself, Matt Copsey, for all the action at 2:45. Bethel will also be in action on Friday, taking on Rochester in non-conference play at 3 p.m. as well. The Pilots snapping their 5-game losing streak with the victory here in game number 2 to come away, and we are pleased to be joined by Scott Reese now on the post-game show.
Coach, it was good to see the Bats finally come alive in that second game. I don't know if Megan Fretz was doing anything outstanding in the first game. It was just she just seemed to maybe have your kids off balance.
She did what she needed to do. She was mixing it inside, outside, and we weren't making the adjustments. And she pitched a heck of a game, and she did exactly what she was supposed to do to get the job done. So, we've got to be ready for that when we go to their place, but we've also got to be ready for each one of those pitchers that we faced today, because we're going to see them all, and we just got to keep our heads up and keep trying to hit.
And I thought, Bethany made maybe 1 or 2 bad pitches, and the thing was that she was able to come away with she came out on the short end of it, but I thought she pitched well, and then Mast came in and shut the door.
Yeah, and all we ask of our pitchers is to try to limit it to 1 runner an inning, and she did exactly that until that 3-run 6th inning, was it? And but beyond that, I thought Bethany did a great job, and Danica did a fantastic job coming in and shutting things down too.
Well, and then I thought in the second game, Brooke, you take away, she had a little bit of control issue there, and you had a miscue there on which should have been a double play to end the inning. They never should have actually gotten that first run, and then you had an error that led to the second run. So if you take away, basically she gave up 2 unearned runs, and she really finished strong, I thought.
Yes, she did. I thought her last 4 innings were better than her first 3. She threw a lot of pitches those first 3 innings. Went deep into a lot of counts, but give Huntington credit for making her do that as well. But I agree. I think she really bared down there those last 4 innings and did a fantastic job.
And I thought your hitting finally came through as well, and that's what you want to see. You come up with 11 hits in that second game and just made things happen.
Yeah, and anytime we can get into double-digit hit totals, I'm going to be happy. Obviously, we got to get the W when we do it. We've had way too many days in which we have had double-digit hits and haven't come away with the W. So it's good to get that, and hopefully we can work that into tomorrow now as well and stay hot.
I was going to say, you don't have much time to enjoy this, but you get a chance to come back tomorrow and hopefully pick up a couple more W's.
Let's hope so.
Well, thanks, Scott.
Yeah, you bet.
Okay, we're going to be joined now here on the post-game show by Brooke Stoltz. And Brooke, congratulations.
Thank you.
Just talk about, what was working for you out there this afternoon.
My curve worked pretty well, and I knew I was struggling a little, so I just wanted to make sure that my defense had my back, and everything fell into place. We hit really well, too.
And I know that it's been frustrating at times because at times you go out there and pitch real well and you don't get a lot of support, but the offense really came through for you today. And I was telling Coach, I thought you finished on a strong note today, and that's something that you can build as you go along.
Yeah, I try to, even when we have that first game where we lose, I try to bring that energy to the second game so we can push through and get a win.
And as I've talked to Coach on a number of occasions, even though you guys have struggled, it seems like the morale of this team is up, and that's one thing that you got to have as you go along in the season. It's a long stretch.
Yeah, it is.
Well, congratulations, Brooke, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, thank you, sir.
That was Brooke Stoltz joining us here on the post-game show as the Bethel College Pilots pick up a 6-2 victory over Huntington in game number 2 as the Pilots come away with a split
as Huntington won the opener by a count of 4-0, and Bethel wins the nightcap by a count of 6-2 for Bethel. 6 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors. They left 9 runners on base. For Huntington, 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. They left 7 runners on base. Brooke Stoltz, we thank Brooke for joining us here on the post-game show. She was the winner, 5-6, and Anna Widegold was the loser, 0-1, time of the ball game, 1 hour and 35 minutes. Well, that's going to do it for our coverage of Bethel College softball this afternoon here on the Regional Radio Sports Network. Once again, we apologize for the technical difficulties that we've inquired during the day. Hopefully, we're going to have everything ironed out tomorrow for when the Pilots take on St. Francis in a doubleheader here at Gardner Field, starting at 3 p.m. with the first pitch. As the pregame show will start at 2:45, you can join myself, Matt Copsey. So once again, your final scores today: Huntington 4, Bethel 0 in Game 1. The Pilots come back with a 6-2 victory in Game 2. So until tomorrow, my name is Matt Copsey saying thanks a lot for joining us and enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night, everybody.